Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you're new to this channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it's live, and a link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using stock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show, as sharing the show increases the live audience, of course, and this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you are new to the channel or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Sleeping Warrior, Nummy, John and Arwin. How are you all doing?
Good afternoon. It's a very late show today.
Lovely day here.
It's so lovely here. It's unbelievable. And the trees are blooming. Things are getting green. The flowers are bursting forth from the garden. It's wonderful.
I'm getting kind of worried here because this is like the 5th day in a row without a single chemtrail.
Oh, they'll come. Stephen Chess did his weather video this morning and pointed out that he's got chemtrail skies over in California.
Yeah, in America maybe, but maybe there's something going on with Europe. There's like some kind of weird political decision or something. I don't know what's going on, but like I've never seen this long without chemtrails, without a single one. I've seen plenty of planes out there, but just no chemtrails whatsoever. Not a single one for 5 days in a row.
Yeah, I have to say,
never happened before ever.
There's been a marked lack of chemtrails in Toronto as well, compared to the past. Like I'm looking up, I haven't seen one in recent memory at least, and I'm looking up at 300 or 180.
Nothing to do with local markets because it is an international system.
Yeah,
the governments don't even have a say in it. Pretty much every time somebody tries to appeal to them, they just say, "Yeah, it's in the bigger program. We have nothing to do with it." So maybe it is some. I think it has to do with some kind of political decision.
Maybe they found a way to make the chemtrails invisible.
No.
We've got no idea what they are, what the problem is with them. You know, it is. I got Haunted House in the chat saying chemtards, and to a degree, I agree with him.
Now we have an idea of what chemtrails are, not 100%, but there have been analysis of remnants from chemtrails. Like chemtrails have been around for now 27 years. No, wait, 23 years, pretty much. That's when it started up, really, in 95. And there have been people onto this. Like even before Flat Earth, I was in a group that was dedicated to figuring out chemtrails. Some of these people got into the movie. They appeared literally in the movie. It was pretty interesting to see. What's the name again? What in the world are they spraying? And the follow-up movie for that. So there have been pretty serious inquiries, but they pretty much concluded it's being run by the global military program, basically by NATO, and local governments have no say in it. It's just being done, and no information is being shared. But people have been doing measurements, or like have been taking water samples in areas of persistent spraying, and certain type of unnatural elements show up every time, and that is aluminum, fine aluminum dust, barium oxide, and unknown fungi.
Yeah, can I say something? Yeah, just to respond to Haunted House there. Yeah, I'm not subscribing to any particular interpretation of the nature of the chemtrails, but there's definitely something going on there. And I don't think that the mere fact of bringing up the topic makes somebody a chemtard or a conspiratard. I mean, people these were a more, these weren't observed in the past, and then they came into view at a certain point, and it's completely healthy and legitimate and valid to be curious about the nature of what these things are, and it does not make anyone a tard to question it. And if you'd like to come and talk to me about it to my face, you should do that rather than call me a tard from behind your keyboard, because that's really ridiculous.
Chemtrails are not retarded. I've seen plenty of footage around. Please don't ask me to go and search it right now because it's been over a decade. I've seen footage of basically personal craft, or I think even military craft, flying behind a chemtrail plane as it is spraying.
Yeah.
And it's not coming from the engine exhaust. Plain and simple.
There's something going on, and I don't necessarily regard it as being, I highly doubt that it's the intention of it is to harm human health, because human health is improving. But I don't know. It could be, but
it's a multiple purpose program. It is a geoengineering, it is experimentation, electromagnetic, and there's various corporate interests, mainly pharmacology.
Could just be.
It is definitely not for the good of the health of humans.
It wouldn't surprise me if they just do it just to scare the shit out of us, like they do so many other things, like fake attacks.
Well, isn't that just another useful purpose to them?
Yeah, exactly. That's
it's
what
a
I'm
multi.
saying.
I think I could name at least 5 things they're doing with it that is to their benefit, and none of it is to the benefit of the public.
Yeah, I'm just saying we don't know which of those are true or not, right? But it's a legitimate subject, and it's a legitimate area of inquiry.
Well, at least geoengineering has been properly documented and admitted, literally, like publicized. Yeah, we are doing geoengineering experiments for some time now in this area.
Well, there's even cloud seeding, which is basically a form of chemtrails.
Yeah, that's been going on since the 60s and 70s.
Since the 60s.
Yeah.
So that is very specific, and it's not admitted that they do that because also it's not allowed.
Yeah,
There's an international agreement that disallows doing that. Doesn't mean they're not doing it, but they cannot admit doing that.
I just don't appreciate somebody just merely saying the word chemtrails and somebody's calling you a tard. I mean, that's just absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's haunted house. And
I don't know. I'm just like, I don't understand why he's saying that. I mean, it's pretty insulting and actually pretty stupid.
Still a little bit assaulted by our debate gay agenda thing.
Well, I don't think there's a gay agenda, but whatever. I didn't hear that.
Really? So you don't believe in the
come
whole
on.
bisphenol A?
I've given it 5 or 10 minutes. I've let the
chemtrails
subside.
I think the gay agenda is that the gay population is trying to achieve parity in terms of civil rights and freedoms. So if that's the gay agenda, and yeah, I'm on board with
the gay of all rights.
Okay,
agenda.
right. I've got to put an end to this.
That is a legitimate thing.
Owen, right. Come on. Let's change the subject. I hoped chemtrails would span into flat Earth at some point. Now it's spanned into the gay agenda. I'm just going to say, come on, let's talk about Charles, flat Earth math, or, something that's flat Earth related.
Come on. Don't worry about it.
Charles, flat Earth math. Is he in the neighborhood again?
Yeah. So he decided to pop up and beg the question, as they do.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to come on the show so that we can humiliate him properly. Just another keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
But come on, Flat Earth Math is a nice guy. Okay?
I don't care if he's a nice guy. He's actually, I think he's a covert asshole. And
no, he is a genuine ball believer, and he's a very nice guy. I've never seen him be mean to anyone. I'm actually quite offended that you're yeah, by default, you're gonna approach somebody that mean while they are in person a nice guy and never mean to offend anyone.
Yeah,
That's
assassins
a
would
bad
probably
character
stick the
trait.
knife in with a smile on their face, Arwen, and assassins tend to be your best friend. But right before they kill you,
I haven't
they're
seen.
smiling.
I haven't seen Flat Earth Math assassinate anyone.
I'm
so-
not saying he's an assassin. I'm saying, as a comparison, assassins have a nice smile and befriend you before they kill you. And I'm saying that in his instance, he's nice and friendly as he presupposes and begs the question, and then goes through the maths.
Yeah, but he never.
He won't come on the show
Very
and
civil. He will be very civil about it.
yeah, but he won't come on the show and debate like a man. He wants to hide. He's a keyboard warrior, and I don't care about his nice
No,
guy.
he's not a
persona.
troll. He's not a keyboard warrior. I don't agree.
No,
He has been on many shows.
He totally
really?
represents things in the comment sections. Like, you know, you'll say one thing and then he's copying and pasting and your word. You know, he'll just take a sentence fragment and then try to make it seem like you said something you didn't say and argue against that. It's skish dash all over the. Yeah, really.
Okay, I haven't noticed that.
Okay, well, I will send you an example of exactly what I'm talking about later. Because yeah, the guy.
I'd like to just support that with the video that he released recently that Nathan responded to. In the video, he was claiming that I've accidentally somehow magically put my elevation at 1 foot when it was actually 6 to 8 feet. And the example he gave was that an adult male was stood on a slope, and he showed that it at 6 to 8 feet could be accountable by the video that I showed when the camera was attached to the floor via sand, and without short of digging a hole, there's no way you can get 6 to 8 feet. And Arwen responded when it was suggested by the Rumpus, 6 to 8 feet. Arwen said, bullshit. And I'm going to echo those words because that's exactly what Flat Earth's mass video is. Bullshit.
Okay.
You remember saying that, Arwen?
Yeah, I definitely remember that. But there
Well,
was a ridiculous suggestion by the Rumpus.
Well,
I didn't
Flat
know
Earth
Flat Earth Mass said that as well.
Yeah,
That's
6
kinda
to
sick.
8 feet. It's ridiculous. He didn't show the audience, his audience, that the camera was on the beach. He let them think that it was being taken at like eye height, and he let them think that it was that far away from the water because the slope must be so severe that you get an extra 2 feet out of it. No Flat Earth math. You can have an extra 2 inches. You're certainly not having 2 feet. The camera was on the beach, and short of digging a hole, it couldn't get any lower. Stop being dishonest. Tell the people the truth. Be intellectually honest and show them how the film was filmed, and then you'll realize that there's nowhere near 6 to 8 feet. Same for the Rumpus. Rumpus accepts it was done on the beach, so does Slice Barcane, but Slice Barcane can't see it. He thinks that there's no land there. He doesn't want to see it, but he knows that there's land there because the Rumpus has called him out on it. Rumpus has said, no, Slice Barcane's got it wrong. So we've got 3 of them. Between the 3 of them, can't work out why we see this land. We've got one of them that's not looking properly. The other 2 are claiming I'm at a much higher feet, which is like 8 feet instead of like 1 foot, and that's being generous. But ultimately, we want to know what's going on. We want to know why. Come on.
I think
why
I
can't we
know
see
what's
this land?
going on. I think that the flatness of the footage is making them dizzy.
Yeah, they haven't got a straight story at the moment. They're all coming up with different interpretations, and they're like basically not. There's no consensus in science at the moment, is there?
I know,
Embarrassing.
they're happily
Oh, and by the
declaring that
way,
Metabunks
shout out to
nonsense.
Sly, who thinks that Buddy Boy and me are the same person. I don't know why he thinks that, but I've never spoke with Buddy Boy. I'm not Buddy Boy. I don't have a stock account called Buddy Boy. Buddy Boy is a person all by himself. I don't know who it is.
Yeah, I heard that a couple of times, someone mentioning that in the same sentence, Anthony/Buddy Boy, and I'm like, who the hell's Buddy Boy?
Buddy Boy?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, they think it's me. Well, they can think that if they wish, but it's not me, so you can think what you want.
Well, you have Charles Flat Earth Math come in, right? He's a purported high school math teacher. 2 years ago, he told me that he didn't know that exponents were exponential. I mean, I had to explain exponents being exponential to him on Robert Pisano's show. That was over 2 years ago. I mean,
I heard the Rumpus made an ass of himself on Steve McRae's channel the night before last. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't follow the Rumpus.
Oh,
Yeah.
was he on the channel?
He was on some debate channel. It might have been the Great Debate Channel. I'm not sure which it was, but
And it's true because when Rumpus shows up, he makes an ass of himself.
yeah. Even P Mars had to tell Rumpus to go back to high school. He said, "Go back to school, Rumpus." So shout out to P Mars.
So, has anyone shown the non-physical container yet?
No, negative.
Where's Wiggles?
No, maybe Wiggles can show us a non-physical barrier.
Well,
Where's Ruhit?
how about a non-physical container like the brain for the mind? Then we're talking about metaphysical container.
Do you know what we set off for?
I've been hoping Flat Earth Math would come on. You know, sure
Well,
talks a big game in the comments section.
I'm hoping Slice Barcane. I'm hoping Slice Barcane comes on because that guy's got a real issue with eyes. If he can't see the land, and I'm not going to point it out to him because I don't want him to respond by saying, "Yeah, I can't see that." I want him to work it out himself, and he knows it's there. He knows what land it is as well. He doesn't want to talk. He doesn't want to acknowledge it.
Sorry, what land are you talking about? Can you explain what you mean exactly, just for the audience as well? Because I don't know exactly what you're. I suspect you're talking about your new video, right?
Yeah, the new video that Slice Barcane asked me to go and get from the beach. So I went back to the beach and I got the same land at the beach, and now he can't see it. But it's been demonstrated that everybody can see it, including Rumpus.
So he's saying he can't see the land?
Yeah, but the Rumpus says he can. Rumpus says that Rumpus can see the land and that Slice Barcane's got it wrong. And I agree with Rumpus. Rumpus can see the land, and Slice Barcane can see the land, and Slice Barcane has got it wrong. But Slice Barcane will not admit that he can see the land. He's pretending that there's no land there because he's a proper pretender clown.
Well, that's ridiculous. The land is clearly there. I don't even know how you could make that argument.
Because he's a dick. He's turning a Nelson's eye. You know what a Nelson's eye is, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He doesn't want to deal with it.
He doesn't want to deal with it. But he was the one. He was one of the main protagonists for me going back to do it because he was the one that said, "Go and take it from the beach, Riley." So I went back to the beach, and now he's like, "I can't see no land there." I'm like, "Yeah, you can't, can you? That's because it shouldn't be there, right?" But the one thing that we can prove is that light is not curving around a curve. It's not curving. It's straight. Light travels in straight lines, and it's obvious. You're a moron if you think otherwise. It's ridiculous.
That's weird. I'm surprised anybody would approach it that way.
I can't see the land. I can't see the land, but Riley's still lying. Yeah, right. Let's see how long he holds that one up. So slides on a timer to see how long he goes before he admits it.
Hey,
Flat
Ranty.
Earth Math needs to
Hey,
retract
Ranty.
this video.
You're right.
Flat Earth Math needs to retract this video, and Sly needs to rename his videos because Riley's not proving that the Earth's a ball. Riley's proving that the Earth's flat, or at least not a ball. And what's the other one? The Rumpus. Well, he just needs to really kind of. I don't know what Rumpus needs to do to get out of his hole.
So Flat Earth Math responded to your new video?
I don't think so.
No.
Okay.
He made a video saying that I was really at 8 or 9. Was it? It was at a 7 or.
Hey, Tim.
That you were really what?
Hey, Nemi, he's actually he's lying to you right now. Riley is.
Oh, really?
Is
What
that
might not
so?
be-
Watch Sly's video. He's just showing how lots of land is cut off. He can see the land, but there's a portion to the right
Tim, you're
where
about 2
Anthony
days
was
behind.
taking absolute garbage video that
You're
you
about 2
can't
days
see
behind, Tim.
the
I thought it
land.
was a magnificent video.
You're about 2 days behind. You've not been keeping up to debate with the Flat Earth debate, Tim.
I don't need to.
Yeah, you do. If you come
At
along
all.
making statements,
There
that
is
have
no
been dealt with
debate.
2 days ago.
There is no debate.
There's clearly a debate. I mean, however you
You guys
feel.
are debating each other.
No.
We're
We're
allowed
asking where the curve is. dude.
Debating each other is healthy, right? That's what you guys should be doing too, right? That's how you figure things out, is debating.
No, our science is established.
Oh, really? But
Yours,
there's a
not
fair
so
bit
much.
of disagreement about on your side of it as well. It's just that you guys don't,
Yeah.
you guys are not inclined to actually.
We have a disagreement in
Your theories are
understandings.
well established, Timothy. They're not.
Oh, and your theories are not well established. What's your point?
Yeah, that's correct.
I think
That's pretty
Numi
new.
called you out yesterday about that, and actually Nathan did as well.
And
You're full
Riley,
of crap, dude.
No,
do
it's not.
you see Riley agreeing with him?
Yeah,
The
but
theory
we
is
call
well established.
the fact that we call each other out is a testament to our intellectual honesty, right? That you guys should be doing more of that. And there's a lot of disagreement within like Ruhif's explanation of that it's surface friction causing the atmosphere to rotate, and then I can't remember who it was, but I was arguing with Flat Earth Math. He says that's wrong, right? But these guys don't want to actually have it out in a debate. these guys don't want to solve. So it just shows there's not some sort of like unified perspective among the ballers.
Yeah, some people have different perspectives. Some people have different education. That's
Right, exactly.
quite all right.
So it's the same, yeah, exactly. So why are you bringing
No,
that
you
up?
guys just make stuff up. You
No,
guys
I
just
don't
make
make-
stuff up and
have
deny
I made
science.
up?
That's all you
What
do.
What have
Tim,
I
you're
made
2
up?
days behind me. These
What
comments
have
are
I
easy
made
now to
up?
be dealt with.
When have I made up anything? Give me an example.
I said you guys just make stuff up.
Yeah, okay.
Flat
I'm asking
earthers.
you to tell me when
Flat
I.
earthers.
You say you
I
guys.
can actually prove quite the opposite.
Oh God! Don't
We've
even
caught-
start
yeah,
again.
yeah, we've caught
got wrecked
ballers.
yesterday.
We've caught ballers making up things about engineering that are just not
Oh wow!
fictionally
Okay.
creating applications
Sounds like
of
a Just So
technology
story.
that are untrue. Yeah, we've actually caught you making things up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the
Okay.
point is, we don't all make things up, and when we
Does
do, we
Arwen?
call each other on it, and we figure it out, and and then it's water under the bridge. It's not a big deal.
There's nothing to figure out, guys. You guys are trying to figure out something that's not true. So you'll continue to basically stick your head in sand and try to figure out something that's completely false.
What am I denying? What am I denying?
I guess just for one, I came on and showed a video of how the horizon A doesn't rise to eye level, and B, that with altitude you can see more and more of mountains. And you denied it, and you just started talking about the reflections.
I didn't deny that. I didn't deny that you could see more of mountains when you go higher up.
Oh, wow. Oh, really? How is that explained on a flat Earth again?
Do we have the sim like
No, he just
100 times
No,
before
you
you're
guys never
actually going to
explained
get it
anything.
into your head?
You didn't
seem
explain
to have
anything.
you seem to have a very spongy memory when it comes to
And
anything
you
but
seem
your
to
ball
just make
religion.
stuff up, so you're
No,
useless.
no,
Go ahead,
we
Dummy.
establish in detail
I'm talking
how
about
it
you
works.
personally.
We establish and explain in detail how it works, and we can apply that to every footage that you shove in our face, no matter what it is, every single time. But yet you seem to have a very hard time
Still
actually
talking.
remembering what that system is, despite us describing
You're
it
still talking.
hundreds of times now. Yeah, I'm still talking.
Okay, thank you for that. That actually got no one anywhere. So go ahead, Nummy.
Go ahead. What? What am I?
You were going to explain anything. You were going to explain something.
What I'm going to explain is that nothing in your video provides any sort of evidence of the globe.
So when I take my P900 out, let me say something. When I take my P900 out and I look at Salt Lake City from 27 miles away, half of the buildings are cut off. Can you explain that? I've done it 3 times now.
Yeah,
that's the video that we saw. You showed us a video. That's not what I saw in the video.
So I'm getting on my computer right now.
Okay.
Give you guys a chance to look at this evidence. You
All
guys
right. Let's look at some
mockingly and troll every day saying, "Have you seen any evidence of curvature?"
Tim,
So I'll show you some evidence of curvature.
Let's see your evidence.
Yeah, could you play your video for us? And then when you're playing the video, show us where the evidence of the bulge between the mountain and the observer is, please.
We're not afraid to look at evidence, Tim. That's
right, hang on. Let's not lose this point with the distraction. Let Tim point out.
No, actually, I came on.
Trolling us, come on.
Okay,
the point was
trolling us.
Let Tim show everybody where the bulge is between
Ever since that
the
video you made, Tim, you've been not doing nothing but trolling us.
Yeah, you're claiming
boy.
you're claiming you have evidence of the you have proof of the globe now. So let's see it.
Yeah, I'm getting on the computer as I said. It started up.
Yeah,
Let me
we're looking
actually
specifically for the bulge, Tim.
No, I don't really care what you're looking for specifically. I actually came on with evidence of curvature, right?
I want to see the evidence of the bulge because that's part of the.
I don't care. You know what? Your evidence that you just posted is evidence of the.
You don't care, Tim. That is the perfect answer every time. You just don't care.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I know I'm perfect in every way. Thank you, Arwen.
Yeah, that just shows you're trolling.
Oh, okay,
you're just
Arwen.
here to obfuscate. You're just
go get some evidence instead of just theories, Arwen.
Yeah,
Thank
we're gonna
you.
look at some evidence and then we'll look at it and we'll see what's up.
Cool.
Do it.
I know you will. See,
So
I make videos with like Soundly and Gem Panda, and none of you guys come over. You guys stay in your own echo chamber. You're not actually actively looking for evidence.
Watch out. Sniper on deck.
So about that curve, that bulge.
Oh boy.
Hello, Beyond Flat Earth. Are you there?
All right, I'm switching over to my computer here.
Up next, we have Tim with some evidence of the bulge of the curvature of the Earth, all the way from Nevada desert.
You're not, while he's off, he'll be back in a second on his computer. Just don't, I know you've accused him of trolling. Don't troll the living crap out of him while he does his presentation, please.
No, let him produce. Remember, Nummy, he hasn't got a bulge in this evidence. So ask him where the bulge is at the end and ask him to point to the evidence that supports the idea that there's a bulge.
Yeah,
He'll have nothing.
My mind is wide open. I'm just going to look at this.
Well, I'd like to explain.
Oh.
Did you kick Ronnie?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Ronnie. We thought that you were a troll.
Yeah, I'd like to explain. I'm sorry, Ronnie. It was me. It's just because at the minute there's just people literally joining. Haunted House.
Hey man, Haunted House reporting for duty.
How are we?
Just wanted to say something to you, Anthony. You know, can you stop asking about a man's bulge?
I don't think Tim's on by that.
I don't think Tim's got a bulge to show us. Come on, Tim.
We don't want to see Tim's bulge.
Hello, Alan.
We want to see the bulge.
No, I want to see Tim's bulge. Come on, Tim.
Tim want
No,
to show his bulge.
You're asking to get
Hello, Alan. Hey, Tim. Welcome back.
Yo.
Looking forward to seeing your bulge.
I'm sure you are. I'll show you what a real man looks like.
I heard Jim Panda's got a big bulge.
If it's consistent with your ankles, Tim, I'm not going to be disappointed, am I?
Oh, cankles. I saw a woman at 7-Eleven with cankles. It's like everything was working out and then...
No, actually, it's the opposite of cankles. Get with it, dude.
Clinkles?
Hey, Alan.
I couldn't quite tell if he was dying then or was
Hi, Owen.
What happened to your bee?
What happened to my what?
To your bee.
I don't know.
Yeah. Check 1, 2.
So it's in the end.
Shove it.
Here he comes. This is the guy trolling us. He's gonna knock us all out.
Okay. Hold on. Tim's just getting his stuff together.
Look, everyone here knows what shape it is. Okay. Look, yo, Tim. What do you call it? What do you call it? Somehow I missed the soccer.
Hold on a second, Issa.
Get back in touch with me.
Just 1 second, Issa. You're up, Tim. Whenever you're ready.
All right. So here is San Diego, or actually, never mind, Salt Lake City, from 27 miles from the causeway of Antelope Island. And I did a few tests where one of them is near the water. This one's near the water. And this whole church right here is completely gone. And this one is from 20 feet. And the church reappears. What do you guys have to say about that? These buildings are being constructed.
Let me, Tim.
Present him.
Do you see any evidence of an inferior mirage in the image?
Well, hang on, wait a minute. I'm just looking for a presentation first. Could you show us where you were, the
Truth
distance,
for
your
reality?
altitude,
Is that you,
all that kind
Ronnie?
of stuff?
Hold on a second. Is that you, Ronnie?
Yes.
Good to have you.
Oh, just about to hit the button there, Ronnie.
And
Tim,
just get
us back. Hold on, let's just get us back on track. I wanted. So, hold on. There's an outstanding question. So, do you see evidence of an inferior mirage, or not?
I actually, when I came on with evidence, I kind of was seeing how this works on a flat Earth. You guys always do this. You guys always want to ask the person what they think is going on and try to obfuscate. But can you answer that question by any chance, or no?
How is it obfuscating? You're asking where the church is, and I'm telling you that there appears to be an.
I didn't say where the church was. I said
you asked
this
where the
is like
church was.
No, I'm saying that these buildings are being cut off. There's buildings all throughout here. This is
Right.
only 27 miles. So
Yeah,
do you
I'm
have an
asking,
explanation
do
on
you
a flat
see
Earth?
evidence of
It's optical
mirage?
turbulence.
Oh,
Yeah, optical turbulence.
Okay. That's fair.
I'd like to answer that question when there's a chance.
Oh, there's
Well,
event
hang on. I want my inferior mirage question answering. Tim, can you see inferior mirage in the image or not?
How many times am I going to tell you this?
It's a yes/no. Can you see it or not?
And this one is actually very nice as well.
So I'll take that as a yes.
No, I'm actually not here to dance with Riley because he doesn't
No,
want to.
because you know that there's an inferior mirage, and you know the church is sat behind it.
All right.
So-
One moment.
But
It's a simple
Anthony,
answer.
yesterday when I answered your question, I was wrong. I looked it up. I just couldn't see it at the time. But yeah, according to what an inferior mirage is, which I wasn't too familiar with, there is some there is some evidence of that. However, the fact that you're kind of asking me to see it is kind of leading.
Question.
You know what I mean?
Question.
Well, if I don't
Yeah.
leave, then you might not
But I
see
mean-
what I'm looking at. But ultimately,
No, I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Tim's asking where the church is, and I'm asking him, can you
I
see
didn't
evidence
say
of the
that.
inferior? Yeah, you
I
did.
never
You said,
said
why can you see the church
So-
at one altitude? but
Hold
not
on.
the other?
Look, let's
No,
get,
I-
hold on.
is that,
Hold on. Tim's saying you're misrepresenting his argument. So, Tim, if you can clarify what you're asking, that'd be handy.
So here is really actually very nice. This is where I was taking the observation. It's about 6 feet with a P900. And as you can see, I'm going to, I think it's enlarged enough for you guys to actually see it. Let's see. Let me see real quick. So
What
in the
is that?
distance, this is Antelope Island in,
nice.
oh, it's amazing, dude.
So this is a
as you-
different point, Tim. Are we going to leave
Can
the
you
last
just
point
stop
open?
trolling
No,
him?
you
He's
guys
trying to
don't
get through a point. Can you all just shut up and let him speak?
Nathan, he's making a new point, and he's not addressed the church.
We can come back to it. He can make more than one point. Let's just let him get through it. He's got his stuff up. It's taken a lot of effort, man. Can't you just let him do it?
Thank you, Nathan. I actually pretty much vowed to not come on here again, but I just, for the sake of trolling, I'll be here. But so this is actually, as you can see, if you can, this is Salt Lake City in the distance. I should make a video on it where I'm maybe put a filter or two on it. But the buildings are quite obviously being obstructed by the water, which is fairly level. This day was last Sunday. The Sunday before was where it was basically crystal clear.
Okay.
What happened?
I didn't do that.
What's happening?
He's dropped.
No, it's not.
Well,
I think John joined the call. Quantum eraser.
well, the answer to his question is due to perspective, objects that are higher from the Earth will be seen from a larger field of view. So the lower you are, the less field of view you have viewing things on the Earth. So it's quite simple. When he's done his explanation, it's very, very easy to explain.
Okay, you're back
on
on.
a flat Earth.
Let's look at the footage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are. The audience can see
Continue.
it. You're up again.
All right. So this is from a lower altitude.
What's
As
the
you can see,
altitude exactly?
The buildings are being cut off.
think it's
And
time.
as you rise up, you can see more of the buildings and more of the skyline.
Yeah, but do you agree though that there needs to be a bulge before you can see the bottom of the buildings?
There's no bulge. That's misinformation. Good answer. Good question. But the question is he using a P900 or a drone?
Drone, of course.
Yeah, the P900
Because
is
the-
attached and going. It's 1,600 feet, Ronnie.
Because the focal length between a P900 and a 4K drone are drastically different.
Yep.
So what's the focal length?
P900 is
then?
not the be all end all of cameras either.
No, it's a terrible camera actually.
It sucks.
Well, I do,
Some good ones.
I do think it's great that Tim's putting in this work, and it's clearly exposing how perspective does work on a flat plane.
Yeah, I agree.
See how nice we are to you, Tim?
Yeah.
Giving you like
I've
an
said
A+
it about 5
for
times
effort.
on the show, Tim. Perspective. That's what your answer
It is great.
Show us where the bulge is, Tim. Come on. That's what we're waiting for.
So I'm surprised, Haunted, that you haven't seen any of this. Well, I guess I'm not too surprised, but
It looks like Martha's Vineyard. Looks. What were you doing out there? Like vacation, or you just strictly like solely went out there to do this?
it's a 30-40 minute drive for me. So this one is very evident. At the bottom, you like this one, Haunted. It shows the Earth's curvature.
No,
I'm waiting.
Again.
I'm waiting. I'm open.
But no, actually, that's just a reflection.
No, it's a mirage.
But I think if you see something I don't see, I kind of have to, for the sake of
Mirage
peace
staying perfectly in place in relation to the observer. Yeah, sure.
and remaining in a state where our stress levels are at a low rate.
So,
if you feel like you see something I don't see, then I can't take that away from you.
So
Well,
okay, Haunted.
Hold
on, Haunted. Do you see anything right here? Hold on, my alarm's going off.
Yeah, but you have a lower field of view when you're closer to the ground, Tim. So objects that are higher, you're not going to be able to see them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a good
Remember Nathan's demonstration.
Remember.
Yeah, remember the footage that Nathan presented.
5th of November.
The guy on the football field walking away in a straight line.
Yeah, a
and
football
suddenly his
field
legs
is
disappeared.
not flat.
There was no bulge there.
Football
either.
field, yeah, there is.
Those are all
football
useless
fields
tests.
have runoff.
Don't do anything.
No, let's just get that out of the way. Yeah, if there is runoff on a football field, yeah, it runs to the sidelines. It does not run to the goal lines, which is where the guy was walking along. So if you're going to claim that there's runoff, it goes to the sidelines, very specifically to the sidelines. If there is curvature at all on a pitch, there was no evidence presented whatsoever that that pitch that we showed had any relief.
Yeah, and the same thing happens when you put a camera on a straight table.
Alrighty, so near
Move
the
something
ground.
away from that, and the same happens.
Yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
but my question for
Excellent
Tim,
stuff.
my quick question is, why is it that I get answers from Google and scientists that tell me that you need to be above 35,000 feet to see any curvature, but yet you're telling me you can see it from nearly 5 feet? This is truth.
You're let me
You're superseding NASA and modern day science with your drone.
Can we all notice that
connection.
nothing is happening right now? We're not moving forward at all. This is just a stagnant argument. What he's saying is he sees something. He sees it. I can't grab his head and say and force his eyes to see what I see. Nor can he do the same.
It's actually obstruction. Okay, so right now you cannot see this mountain that's right here. But if you actually go on, you can start seeing
because your
mountains.
field of view is smaller.
I don't really care what you have to say.
Then it's a ball.
Obstruction. If you don't know the difference between obstruction and the x-axis curvature by now, Ronnie, you're just sitting there over with Yahashohi and
you can make insult me, Tim. I'm not insulting you in any way, brother. I'm explaining to you how your eyes and yes, I am.
I'm going to stick with the picture. I'm going to stick with what you're showing, Tim, and say that when you see whatever it is you're seeing here, now does this validate? What does this validate for you? Is it new, or is it confirming something you've already seen before? Is that
Haunted?
Are you
what
referring
do you
to the
see
globe?
Here? What do you see here, Haunted? What do you see here, buddy?
You see optical obstruction.
Oh, optical. Okay, I guess your name is
optical.
Arwen is in my head watching for me.
Yeah,
there's no optical. The lower you are, the less you can see. The higher you go in the air, the more you can see. This works on a ball or a flat plane.
Why is that?
I'm not a desperate flat earther. I'm not a desperate flat earther.
Listen, this is over water, guys. Water's supposed to be flat.
Refraction.
Okay. Water's supposed to be flat.
It looks curved.
Why does this happen?
It looks like there's a curve there,
as a mirror.
And it also looks flat.
Why do these mountains that aren't there as you go up start?
Because they are there, but they are obscured by refraction zone.
Arwen, I don't care, dude.
Turbulence causes random fluctuations in the refractive.
No, none of that.
That's all
not
salad, word salad.
Yes,
Listen,
I've done this.
It's a simple thing here.
North
Simple
and
thing
south.
here. What you're seeing, I'm seeing what you're seeing too. And it
okay.
One thing.
More land. Look at this land.
Looks like
it's over water, dude.
The higher you rise, Tim, the larger your field of view is. It's so simple, guys. A kindergarten kid can understand this.
It does look like that. It does look like that.
Does it not?
It doesn't look like. Yeah, it absolutely does.
And then when you're the highest at 1,650 feet, looks like way more. Look at the difference here. Watch the difference.
Of course, you're going to see more. You're
Nothing.
rising above the air.
He knows that.
You're
He
rising
knows
higher
that.
above the earth.
Much
It's
more.
This is like
it's random fluctuations in the
Oh,
refraction.
random.
It's
Okay.
not random,
Okay.
Nami. It's not.
There's
Oh,
no
it's not
randomness.
random,
Specific.
and it is random.
higher
and-
you
But
go,
it doesn't
the
matter.
further
But it
away
doesn't matter. It
slant
doesn't matter.
moves.
He
Random, I
sees
can.
it.
There's so many.
Let's do
point.
it from a different vantage
so much
point and see if
evidence
this
that
happens.
Wait a minute.
Random
He's pointing
fluctuation.
something out that
It's
he
not
sees.
random.
He
Nami.
doesn't. We don't need explanations of what we see. We all see it.
You
That's
need
the
to be
point
above
here.
35,000 feet to see any curvature if we were living on a ball.
The
that was
curvature of the
25 feet.
actual Earth. We are looking at something very, very distant, so we can see the effects of curvature, which would be called obstruction.
That's
The test,
that's
the
simple
test you
science.
want to perform, Tim. The test you want to perform, Tim, is this: when you show this to someone, they're obviously seeing exactly what you're describing. And once they go into like a technical explanation about this and that, they're being dishonest. When they could just as well
the
say,
only honesty
I
is-
see that too. I see that because we all see something that looks curved. That's
Guys,
fine.
it's so
That's
simple.
fine by me.
Come on.
No,
Thanks,
it doesn't
bro.
look curved at all.
Yeah.
This
No,
is
there's-
so
I feel
simple.
so much
guys.
better about
There's an
myself
optical
today, man.
slant right there. at a
Optical
specific
slant?
There's
I don't-
yeah,
I
an
don't need-
optical slant at a
There's
specific
no
distance.
slant.
And
There's no
the height
slants.
of the observer.
The
love
higher
you guys.
you are, the further you can see. It's
I
simple,
love you guys. You guys are great.
Yeah, the
Okay,
slant.
okay.
We're like a big
specific
spam.
Where does that get us?
distance
Where does that
depending on
explanation
the-
get us?
What
on
does
the height
Nathan? What
of
does
the
Nathan
observer.
think? I want to hear Nathan's opinion of this.
It's
You are all
perspective.
retards.
It is perspective.
And these
Yeah, I was
things
just
are not
reading
there.
Nummy's optical turbulence paper that he'd sent through. Actually,
Optical turbulence.
I don't know what optical turbulence is, guys. I'm just stating the higher we are, the further we can see. So the closer you are to the ground, the less distance you're going to see. Objects on the horizon will be smaller to your field of view. The higher you go, obviously you can see further,
No,
either
but
on a
that's
ball
not
or a
just
flat
that.
plane.
It's not just that. That is
I hate when
also
people explain things.
getting
I hate
smaller.
explanations.
Yeah, Hunted.
But there's
I know,
also
it's-
the
thank you, Hunted.
basic refraction effect.
Well,
causing
I
light to
can't
bend
stand
up,
people who
causing the
worship
apparent
Satan, but-
slant, and the higher you go up, the further away the slant starts.
And you give weed a bad name
and
too,
the-
Tim.
The zone
it's
at
mostly
which
kids.
things are
What are you talking
obscured
about?
due to this refraction also moves
Arwen,
further
what the hell are
away.
you talking about?
just
What are you
talks,
talking
dude.
about,
He
man?
just talks, man.
Optics.
What are all these
Optics,
words for?
man.
treated
Optics.
this, we treated
just be
this
like-
subject very elaborately in earlier shows.
No, you
very,
haven't.
very
You
elaborate.
just say optics, and you're like, all right, refraction.
So what? So
gravity.
I don't understand why that begs you to spit all this crap.
So how
Seriously,
far
Arwen?
is this? Oh wait, here's a question, Tim. How far are those mountains from your perspective here? Your distance? What's the distance?
There's no set distance. These mountains
You go
are different
Are they-
distances.
20 miles. What is that?
refraction. See,
No, I'm not talking about. I don't really like the whole refraction thing because
yeah,
I
but
don't
it's
see
there.
stars.
Yeah,
I don't
whether
see
you
stars
like
being
it or not,
refracted.
it's there. It's there.
I don't see the
standard.
Yeah.
It's a standard optical effect besides perspective.
So
It's simultaneous. It's both there. Perspective does not cause the bulge.
beautiful.
Perspective only causes things to become
There-
smaller.
there's
Refraction
no
causes the
bulge.
apparent slant, causing the
People
mirror.
look at things
What
and they
you
feel.
see here in my icon right now.
I don't see a
Spectacular
slant though.
footage. I mean,
Rodney, does Jason
Yeah,
have a bulge?
flat
You do.
as a
Is it a big
pancake.
bulge?
Look at it. There's perfect reflection. Even though you've got a slight curve to your lens, you've
And
still got the perfect
is
reflection.
flat. Yes, that's evidence in its own right. You can only
Yeah,
have
man.
a perfect
Can I
reflection
just
on a
say? Can
mirror.
I just say one thing? Can I say one thing here to all the flat earthers? Flat Earth is not your friend. It's not your friend. Be your you are your best
wait.
friend. Okay.
This
Forget
clip
about
right
the
here.
allegiance.
Let
Forget
him
about this.
finish.
Forget about this feeling, this need to agree with this new consensus. Because I'm sick of it. Sick of people
Yeah,
just
dude.
saying things to try to
No, leave
get
that
one over on someone. We see something, that's fine. We can move on. It's okay. It's okay. This is people showing each other stuff. That's it.
The buildings one, Tim, could you put that back on? Because that is exactly what I'm saying. So the diagram that I use and how I explain perspective on the flat earth, basically, if you number the building floors, right? The higher you go in the air, the more of the lower building floor, you're going to see the lower floors of the building. Due
Yeah,
to your
because the
perspective.
curvature, you clown.
No,
Yes.
no curvature, absolutely no curvature. It's
You're a
due
clown,
to the height.
dude.
That shouldn't
No.
work, Tim.
So the
That
further
shouldn't
the
work.
objects are on the distance, the less the building you're going to see from the ground up due to perspective.
Guys,
It has
guys,
nothing
call
to do
Salt
with
Lake City.
curve.
call Salt Lake City, dude.
This is
Have
great
to.
evidence of
Far
how
gone.
perspective works on a
If there
flat
was an
plane.
actual physical bulge in between there, then as
Half the
you
buildings
move
are
up
gone.
with your camera, you shouldn't see that rate.
Oh, okay. As long as
I'm just pointing out for the audience that there's a beautiful mirage line. So apparently these buildings are being obscured by Earth curvature, and yet we have, yet again, a perfect mirage.
As
this
you
is
move
actually just a
higher up,
reflection on water.
land moves further, and the way things appear from above the
Okay,
apparent
thank
horizon
you. Will
move
you
pretty
shut your
fast. That
mouth,
shouldn't
dude?
happen in a physical
Good
curve.
God, you're talking about slants on
You
a
would
flat
need
Earth.
to
You're
move
a
up a
clown,
lot
dude.
further
Give me a break.
before you would actually get to
Give me
see
a break. Seriously, man, slants.
Yeah, slant. Yeah, slant. A corner.
You just don't. You
Corner.
don't like.
Optical
You don't like
created
curvature, so you
corner
just say
because
slant.
of refraction.
What an idiot!
What? You're an idiot.
What a clown!
You're the clown.
man.
Your
Come
icon
on.
is literally a clown. You moron troll.
Come on.
But we don't need to go with the ad hominem attacks. What Tim is showing is perfect perspective on a flat Earth plane.
Yeah, correct. So I'm just highlighting for the audience's benefit where the mirage line is, the perfect dissection of these mirages that we see in these pictures.
Mirage.
This is
what
not-
kind of mirage?
Yeah,
You have to
it's
be
an
above
inferior mirage.
35,000
The stuff
feet to see
above
curvature.
is being refracted below perfectly. That's why it looks like it's a mirror image of itself, like this letter C, reverse letter C that we have in the center of frame right now. That's not actually a letter C that they've built on the shoreline. It's a refraction of itself below itself, and we have
So
a
why see
perfect,
the other buildings?
a perfect straight line
Because
that
they're
runs
not
the
in your field of view.
full image. Again, totally impossible on a curved surface, but there it is, demonstrating how flat the Earth is. Lovely,
It's due
lovely
to
footage,
optical
Tim.
turbulence because there's a
Optical
between.
turbulence. Okay.
Yes, optical
Slants. Okay, I'm writing this down, guys. We got
Yeah, you
slants.
It's all right. You don't need to. I've got the paper on screen, Tim.
All right,
Don't
man.
need to write it
Does
down.
anyone else have any excuses for me?
This is
Anyone
worse
else?
ad hoc than the globe Earth theory. I gave you the truth, Tim. The higher you are in
I
elevation,
gave you the truth.
the further you can see. This is simple perspective. A
You
kindergarten
can't
can understand.
handle the truth.
Thanks for having me on, Nathan. God bless.
It's been a pleasure, Ronnie.
God, I don't like that guy.
Who, Ronnie?
Yeah.
What are you showing, Arwin? What's this we've got up here?
The same
Hey,
old, same
Maz,
old.
how you doing?
It's just the explanation of refraction, not
that
the
you, Pete?
standard refraction or the looming type of refraction nonsense that the globers bring on, but actual optical refraction.
The actual
causes
effect
the
of
slant.
optical refraction is that it causes random fluctuations.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
there's a standard refraction effect. It always moves light upwards. That's what we see.
It's not
It's-
true.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god, the refraction argument gets you nowhere. Gets you nowhere. No one can explain it
It's
well
a
enough.
well understood
And-
effect. It's called scintillation. That's
Yeah.
all it is. You're not going to move a whole image up or down.
In that article that you sent me, Nummy, in that article you sent me, there's a graph, and it shows the photons and how it scatters across the straight line, a little bit above, a little bit below.
Yeah.
I agree with you over everybody else in here. Refraction isn't the word for the phenomena that we're observing. The word that what we're looking at in most of the occasions is scintillation. However, in Tim's video, every video Tim showed, there was evidence on every video of inferior mirage, and that's the obscurity. Wait. That obstruction is what he thinks is the curvature of the Earth, and that's why he wouldn't answer my question. And at that point, it's conversation over. The cause of the obstruction is inferior mirage, and that's it.
So, what page was that on the graph? Was it 11?
I don't have it. It's at home on my other computer. But if Nummy opens it on screen, I can talk you through it.
I've got it up for the audience. I've just been scrolling through it and reading it between you guys talking.
Yeah, just show if you can get it and show it on screen. Is it
Yeah,
on screen
just
now?
looking for it. Hold on for a minute.
If you can get it on screen.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
Hey,
just trying
Dawn,
to
how you
find it in
doing?
my files here. All right, hold on for a minute.
Hey, Dawn. Hello.
You can get it on screen.
Hello. Sorry. Hi.
Hello.
Yo.
Hi, John. How you doing, buddy?
I'm okay, man.
Long time no
Good
see.
to hear.
Jim presented that beautiful evidence, and you just shut him down, and he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
Oh, I never spoke to Jem before.
And you're explaining obstructed mountains with optics and slant.
Hey, hold on for a second.
Madness.
I
Utter madness.
just gotta say a quick thing. Okay, Riley, I have to go in a couple minutes, like 2 or 3 minutes.
Hooray!
I'm gonna leave this for you to go over, but I just dropped the file on the
All right. And to answer your question, Numino, I wasn't calling you a chemtard. What I was saying was when you bring a debate like that into the public forum and there are actually people watching, you got to have all the data. You can have you can have the conversation all you want behind closed doors.
You just referred to chemtrails, and then you called us. You said chemtard, so there was no debate.
I was being funny. I was being funny. I was just
okay. That's fair.
This is
I
what
just
conspiracy does to you. It makes you like uptight. I get it sometimes.
No, I'm not uptight. It's just
it's okay.
Bastard.
You can be uptight sometimes. I can too.
That's well and fair, wanted. I like it though.
I've got to go, guys.
It's fine, whatever.
Thanks,
Cool.
Ranty.
Doesn't matter. I was just addressing that because of the way that, the context that I understood it in was not as a joke. So I was just, for the audience's sake, I was.
I think I'm impervious to chemtrails. Actually, I think I'm invincible to them.
Listen.
I've got to go now.
Thanks,
Ranty's leaving the building. So.
Ranty, before you go, you showed obstruction in your video again.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, listen, Nathan, I've sent you a couple of images on Skype.
Okay, I'll have a look.
All from 6 feet. If you take an interest in the lighthouse, for instance, that's Walney Lighthouse, you can display it today if you like. It's absolutely flat as a pancake.
Does it have windmills half obstructed in the water?
It doesn't have any windmills in it whatsoever.
Oh, right.
Right, gotta go.
Thanks, Ranty.
Bye. But you're not going to concede, though, anytime soon, right, Dawn?
Concede what?
Do you really think that there's going to be a time where you're going to say, all right, well, I guess it's flat?
If you show me the edge, mate, maybe.
Nathan.
Okay, so you're okay. Well, all right, that answers my question.
Nathan, you
have you ever even really measured a pancake?
Who's what I love?
Okay, I gotta run too, guys.
Okay, I'm looking at your link, Nambi, and this is a very elaborate, good paper.
Right. I'd like
but it is basically the refraction that I'm describing. So you're just using something that has different terminology.
No, he's not. Let me explain it to people that have not seen it because there's a lot of strength in the article that he's got. Can you
Why is it not?
Nath, can you present my screen, please?
Yeah.
Basically, what they were showing in this article, I don't know whether I can get out of this, but basically what they're showing is that light travels along a straight path with minor deviations between like above it and below it, and that's consistent with what Refraction Soundly showed in his video on the Little Texas Bayou. He showed that all the lights basically sat along the straight line. Sometimes they went above it, sometimes they went below it, but principally they were flat. They were on a straight line. They were not following a curve. And this article shows the exact same point. So what they're showing in the article is that there is something called optical turbulence, and when the object is in that turbulent zone, then the light comes to and from it, and it follows a straight path, but it deviates up or down in all directions. And this scintillation is exactly what we're seeing. We're not seeing refraction, we're seeing scintillation, and that is the better word to describe the phenomena that we're seeing. We shouldn't be using the word refraction because it's misleading.
Okay.
I think refraction is misleading too, though, don't you think?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We shouldn't use the word refraction.
Okay, but it pretty much describes the phenomena that I use the word refraction for, so fine.
It tries to, just like diffusion, deflection, reflection, refraction, rarefication. Just people coming up with words to try to explain other movements when it's all just perturbations. It's all excitement of something that we can't conceive. Like light is everything. It's everything around us. Everything is lit up by its own color.
Philosophical mumbo jumbo, dude.
Yeah, that sounds like mumbo jumbo.
Philosophical?
Yes, it is.
How's it philosophical?
No,
light is everything.
You're taking
if I say light
away.
It's haunted house. Mumbo jumbo.
It's very specific. It's not mystical. It is very specific. It's just
it's like
hard to describe, and there's a lot of discussion about what type of words to use it, but it's very well defined. It's not.
It's like
what
the new age. It's like the new age religion that's being pushed on us from the secret societies.
Shut up, Kumar. Shut up.
Come on, there's no need for that.
I call you.
Do your research. I'm telling the truth. Look at Alice Bailey and Helena Blavatsky.
Ute,
Oh,
you're a
God.
retard.
Oh, Blavatsky, that shit. What do you bring to the table, P. North?
I am the most knowledgeable conspiracy researcher on YouTube.
What do you bring to the table,
currently.
man? Just answer the question seriously.
Well, check out Flat Earth Frank, and you can see a bunch of book reports I
I'm just
did
asking you
on
a question. I'm
globalist
asking you a
books.
direct question. That's all. What are you doing right here, right now?
I told
to
you.
the table.
So we've got about an hour left on this live stream. Hope you're all enjoying the debate thus far. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it's live, and a link in the info box below the video once it's rendered. Most importantly, if you would like to join the debate, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video. Shout out to Lotta for the super chat. Click the link in this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected. And if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Massive thanks to those of you who've done so already. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. There is, as I say, a little over 1 hour left on this live stream.
No, I just noticed that you were promoting urine drinking, which is Satanism and Luciferian. So
what
I
do you got a
just
problem
thought
with
I'd
Satan?
point that out.
No.
Promoting?
I don't think drinking urine is Satanism.
I think
Wow, how have we strayed so far from Flat Earth
Satanism
so
is better
quickly?
than drinking piss.
So the way you deal with Luciferianism is...
Hey, Preston.
I mean, you're free. You're free to promote your Satanist beliefs, but I'm also free to say that I don't agree with them.
Yeah, but aren't you the one who's a
Absolutely
self-admitted has interest in children in a weird way?
Yeah, can we so far off the reservation? Can we stop with the pee drinking and paedophiles and all this nonsense, please? Let's just get it back onto Flat Earth, if you don't mind.
We could go back to Tim's observations and how you just claim one word, optics.
Yeah,
Higgins is winning it for snooker, boys.
There's no physical curve. There's no physical bulge.
Except mountains are half obstructed, Darwin.
But they're not because of a bulge.
That's
Not
what you're
because of
saying, yeah, but it doesn't really explain
local
it.
bulge. There is no local bulge there. There's an optical phenomena, and it migrates as you change the point of view.
That's just your opinion.
No, that's
Yes,
you
it
can
is.
actually see it happening.
It is
right there.
It is though. You
It's
can't
your
tell
opinion,
people what
Owen.
they're seeing.
No, it's not an opinion. That's an observation, and everybody can
It's your
confirm them
perspective.
if they're honest
It's your
with
perspective.
themselves.
But I can't be honest with yourself.
It doesn't explain
I can't
away
see what you see.
mountains obstructed halfway.
Yes,
eyesight comes into question too.
Don, did you not see the evidence of an inferior mirage?
I saw a little mirage on the horizon, yeah.
Well, there's your explanation.
I
and
saw
correlation.
mountains half obstructed. That's not a mirage.
Yeah, but it was mirage. That's the point. That was the obstruction.
Well, that's when he zoomed right in on Salt Lake City.
He didn't really have any zoom. He was on a GoPro. What zoom did you see? I didn't see any zoom.
That's
going
that's
a
the
little
buildings of Salt Lake
circular.
City.
Can I ask a new question to Dawn? How do you get the distance of the sun? To stay away from circular arguments.
I think you
how do we get the
trigonometry and then estimation?
So you don't think that we can arrive at something that would
No.
be considered?
Why can't we measure it?
Fair enough.
Because you can't go there. You can
Oh.
only determine the angular relations. We've discussed this very, very elaborately. You have angular relations of the heavenly
doesn't make
bodies
Earth
in relation to the position of the Earth, and it's very well established. It's very well mapped out. The ancients did it. So the knowledge is there. Predictions can be made, but there is no proof of any physicality about it at all.
What do you guys think about the comparison between Tim's footage and Riley's footage? Both evidence for both models.
I don't think they're evidence for models. I think they're evidence for
But do you think one is-
aspect of something.
Hang on. I thought
Better
we just
done, better
established.
done, looks
Hang on,
better, shows more.
Don, why are you comparing Tim's inferior mirage as supporting the curvature of the Earth when we just established that the inferior mirage is the obstruction?
No, you haven't established that. That's an opinion.
But he showed it on screen and you admitted you saw it. And then when he got above the inferior mirage, you
Tiny
could
mirage does not obstruct half a mountain. And it
Well, that's
doesn't come
exactly
back when you go
exactly
up.
what it was. Dawn, that's exactly what it was doing.
No.
Yeah, it was. That's where the church went in his first file, and he flipped onto the second file. And I said to Nathan, he's obfuscated the first point. Nathan said he wanted him to make the other point, and then he fucked off. Well, we never got that first church point closed.
Well, I think he had enough when you said slant and optical turbulence.
He's right. What we're describing is scintillation. We're not seeing refraction the way he tells us, because he can't prove the curve, and he can't prove that light follows the 7/6 of the radius of the Earth curve.
I think whether his evidence proves the globe or whether yours proves flat Earth, I think his is better.
We can.
I'd like to see you with a drone and a P900 and some nice crispy footage.
What we can prove is that his evidence is consistent with my evidence is consistent with something called scintillation. That's not refraction.
Tony, your evidence is consistent with somebody that can't focus a camera.
No, there's nothing wrong with that focused in that image.
It's quite bad.
Would you say that we're making measurements from a flat
hold on,
perspective?
I just want to round this out.
34 miles away. What do you expect?
Hold on one second. Dawn, what do you think refraction is?
What do I think it is? It's bending of light, isn't it?
Bending? No. It changes the light, which travels in straight paths. It changes
eventually bending it.
No. Changes its direction once.
Many straight deviations makes a curve.
Oh, right. Bending. So what you are assuming is that you have lots and lots and lots and lots of refraction going on.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes,
we also
right.
showed that light goes up and down.
that sometimes refraction that you think happens just coincidentally makes everything look like we're on a flat plane, right?
Every time.
No.
Well, yeah, it does.
It doesn't, though.
Yes, it does. Otherwise, you wouldn't need it to bend light around a curve.
Yeah,
why do you think you're straightening out the curve with this refraction?
No,
that's what you're doing. You're straightening out a curve. That's what the refraction calculation does. It takes what is essentially a flat plane observation and makes idiots like you think that it's actually a sphere. It's just a trick with maths.
Yeah, we're taking measurements from a flat perspective to see if there is a curve. You know, we're not operating from the ball first. You can't put the cart before the horse. You know, we're here on a flat plane, seeing if it's a ball.
Yeah, that's what Charles has been doing. That's the purpose of what Charles is doing. He's basically training these monkeys to presuppose there's a curve already.
Yeah,
why is it better to presuppose flat than curve?
No, it's better to have no presupposition.
It's not that we're presupposing it. It's obvious and observable.
Well, but you don't have any observable flat Earth.
Well, Riley, why do surveyors build on a flat plane then? Why do they build buildings the way they do? Why don't we see any obvious curve across these cityscapes? No, because they survey it as flat. They survey it as flat. The people building stuff that actually depends on people's lives not being ruined by things falling over if they're not built on the correct Earth shape, they build on flat, level surfaces. They level their transits, P. So the people that are actually building things while this wanker talks all over me, the people actually putting things into effect and building stuff, they are building on flat planes. They level their transits. They make absolutely certain that they are building on a level surface. So if you want to show me some nonsense with geodesy, then fine, I'll just laugh.
Nathan, building a level building does not mean the Earth's flat. Like,
yeah, it
I
does.
don't understand the argument.
It does. Everything they survey is flat, you moron. Yeah, you want to claim that this proof that Anthony's brought out is somehow supporting Earth curve, and yet we've had 2,000 years of acceptance and sod all scientific evidence to back the assertion. You idiot muppets actually use our evidence to try and claim there's curvature. It's total and utter nonsense. Yeah? Where's your actual proof of radius? Where's your proof that we're on a sphere? It doesn't exist. You presuppose it. You put it into the maths. You put it into the maths before you do any equations.
When it goes
where do they observe curvature?
You have to have a presupposition to have a belief.
Yeah, that's what they have. They have a belief in Earth's curvature based on the presupposition of a radius. And they insert it into the mathematics and then go from there. So no matter what happens, it's always going to come out globe-shaped because they presuppose it's a curve. That's what they do. So you idiots, Dawn, I'm talking to you specifically, are being programmed to presuppose we're on a bloody curved Earth. That's what you do. You insert a radius to all of your mathematical equations.
What would you do if you just ran with it, Dawn? If you just ran with the idea?
What, flat Earth?
I don't know why. Exactly.
I am running with it. I'm here 14 months later, still talking to you people.
But it seems like you have an allegiance to the sphere. Why have allegiance to either or?
Why
Just
not?
go with what because all you have is perspective. All you have is your perspective
and all the evidence
your
from
consciousness.
other people.
They observe a magical curvature.
But that's not your experience. That's not your experience.
Pitch black nighttime every night.
Dawn, what do you mean all the evidence? Where's all this evidence you keep referring to? Because I don't see any evidence for what you're
There's
claiming.
obstruction everywhere.
Yeah,
There's pictures from space.
Sorry.
It was shown.
People measuring
obstruction. Why is it that when we say curvature, you say obstruction, Dawn? What the hell does obstruction have to do with curvature? They are totally different things. Yeah, I can obstruct something without any curve being involved.
You guys are like holding flat Earth at the door. Like, don't let it in. Don't let it in. But it's going to get in eventually because it's what you see. It's where you go. No matter where you go, the ground is beneath you. It's always going to be there.
It's not guaranteed.
Hey! When you say getting in,
grow old and
let me ask you this, guys.
Did you
see the poll? Did you see the poll that was done on this morning when Gary Heather went on with the two other guys and they were basically talking about flat Earth? And the poll that was done at the time said that 4% of people thought the Earth might be flat, but it's gone up since then to 9%. Same poll, same company, same TV show. It's up now to 9%. So 9% of the people now think the Earth might be flat.
That's
so
cool.
ultimately, it's getting in the door, and it's like it's wiping its feet.
They're not
geocentric.
I wonder which
Geocentrism is sticking its toe
do
in
it
the
this
door.
morning
stop,
poll.
But what's wrong with that?
what
What's wrong with the new perspective on things? Though?
Nothing. I like it. It just
you don't.
doesn't have evidence and
No,
doesn't make
no,
full
you don't.
sense.
You can't
Well,
accept it.
what do you need?
The thing
You don't know me,
the
Hornet.
thing that's wrong with
You
flat
don't know
Earth is it promotes this like identity politics that's like straight out of communist
Yeah,
Russia.
you have an identity crisis. You have an identity crisis.
I've got a communist Russian identity crisis, P. Now that I want to hear.
Identity politics.
How does it do that?
P. Mars, I think you have an identity.
It becomes it's like back in the day in Russia, it was like
I think
the workers were the victims versus the evil capitalists, and with like flat Earth, it's the same thing, but it's like
you don't
flat
even have a
earthers are the
voice.
victims versus the evil globe believers or globe promoters. So
No, we're
it's the same
actually
ideology.
We're getting
as,
trolled
like,
by fanatics. It has
why
nothing to
they're-
do with identity politics. It
they're
has to do with
promoting
psychology.
hating white
This is what he's here
heterosexual
for.
males.
No,
what he's here
what
for.
the
women
hell?
and
That has
minority
nothing
groups
to do
is
with
what
flat
he's here
Earth.
being
for.
risen. It's the same thing.
No, it's
Take
not the
the
same
conversation
thing.
in this direction.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
Arwen,
is.
No,
you're
it
It's
isn't.
communist-
That's ridiculous.
I've done the research. It's communist propaganda. I know what's going on.
Yeah,
whatever.
no voice, P. Mars.
You know,
You
the
have no voice.
communists actually did embrace the globe. They worked on the space program and everything. It's ridiculous. Has nothing to do with flat Earth.
It is liberal thinking, new liberal thinking.
No, it's not.
Distrust philosophy.
No, it's
That's the
not.
point.
Gents, let me have your attention. One
Free
sec.
thinking.
I want to show you.
Libertarian. It's free.
I
It
want
has
to show
nothing to do with liberalism at all.
It
Go on,
does.
Anthony.
No,
I'll cut you
it's
off.
quite the opposite.
We don't
nobody
trust
cares.
you anymore. That's liberal.
No,
We don't care
you're
about
a
that stuff.
fanatic. You're a religious fanatic.
Those are
You
their
don't
words.
trust
We
anything
don't need their
that
words.
opposes your religion. That's what's going on.
No.
Yeah.
Those are their words.
Yeah, it
We
is.
don't need them.
You're the freaking
I've
liberal.
got to interrupt.
You're
Anthony
the
looks like he's
fanatic.
doing something flat
Define
earthy.
yourself.
Hold
I
on
am
a
a
second,
liberal, yeah.
guys. Hold on.
Yeah,
Go on,
yeah.
Anthony.
Oh, there you go.
Hold on,
Exactly.
Armin. Hold on.
I'm not a liberal.
Hold on. Go ahead, Dar. There you go. You're up,
Are we
Anthony.
screen sharing? Yeah.
Yes.
Right, on this article about a month ago by a guy called Greg Evans on the Indy100.com website, he claims that it's now a recent study conducted by YouGov of 8,215 US adults has discovered that just 66%, odd number, of 18 to 24-year-olds are convinced that the Earth is round. That means 33% of them don't think that it's round, and obviously that's our position too. 33%. So it's not getting in the door; it's in the door, wiping its feet and putting its coat up.
It's Mason
Did you guys see The Principle, the movie?
That's why the Globers are panicking.
Any of you
They're
guys see that movie, the
panicking.
documentary called The Principle?
Yeah, of
About the
course.
geocentrists?
Yeah, we did.
I thought it was terrible.
It's
Absolutely
good.
terrible.
It's a good documentary.
It's just a CGI festival.
Flat Earth needs
It's a
one the
CGI
same.
festival.
Flat Earth needs one on the same level.
Well, it's just like the convex Earth concept.
Do we need a new Just So
Halfway
story, do
there
we?
and then becomes nonsense.
You need to trick physicists into saying flat Earth is possible, like The Principle did.
We don't need to trick
we need to
physicists
do
into
is
anything.
find
Physicists
that
need to
don't
provide
write
some
things
evidence
off,
that we
because
actually live on a bloody sphere. That's a presupposition, right?
So trick some physicists into admitting
Don't need to
that'd be
trick
cool.
anybody. They need to provide some actual scientific evidence for the sphericity of Earth, Dawn. Something that is sorely lacking in 2,000 years of acceptance.
So what sort do you want? I'll ask you again.
Scientific variety.
But do you want obstruction? Do you want a photo of it curving from space?
Let's have a gyroscope.
How about
Air balloon?
curve, man?
Let's have a stationary gyroscope show that the Earth rotates once in a 24-hour period. That'd be enough.
Surely you could sort that out, can you?
How
No,
about
you're the one
some
with all the money.
curvature?
You're the one with all the money.
I don't have any money.
I tell you what. I was about. Let's have a spaceman in a spacesuit go into a vacuum chamber and see what happens.
Yeah, let's see them test their suit. It should be a walk in the park, right?
And
They go
that
out
helps
into the
prove
actual
the shape of
vacuum of
Earth.
space. So,
Well,
cakewalk,
it would
right?
prove space exists, wouldn't it?
Yeah, let's
No.
stick
Believe
let's
that
stick a
NASA
live
stuff, though,
spaceman. Yeah, let's stick one of those Freemasons in a vacuum chamber in a spacesuit, and let's just see how well it works.
Yeah.
I
tell you what, I'll nominate Dawn.
You realise you can stop a hole in a vacuum chamber with packing tape.
Oh, and you've
Right.
done this, have you? Have you
I
done that?
nominate Dawn to go in the spacesuit. But Dawn, would you go?
Yeah,
with
I'm not making it up. They've got videos of it on YouTube.
Right, come on, let's see the evidence for that, please.
Oh, really?
I
You've
can see
seen
my
it
finger in the
before.
vacuum cleaner.
You've seen it before.
I've only seen that once on YouTube, and it didn't work out very well for the guy that did
Yeah,
it.
well, I've seen Alien, and the entire alien was sucked out of a tiny little hole in the hull, so basically that trumps that.
Yeah, let's see what happens, Dawn. Come on. So why is there
Alright,
no
give me a
evidence
sec.
of a spaceman
Give
in
me
a
a
vacuum chamber in a spacesuit?
Vacuum chamber. I wanted to do that when I was a kid so bad.
Yeah,
Float
they're sticking
around.
bowling balls and feathers in them.
What?
Let's stick an astronaut in one.
Yeah, in a spacesuit.
You know-
Yeah, come on.
Float.
Let's see
I've
how
seen
good they
it.
are.
Only space
You don't
suits
think
that could ever
they're-
function in a vacuum is like a hard armored mechanized spacesuit.
You don't think they
Yeah,
put
like
people in
thick
vacuum
steel
chambers?
Flexible one.
Oh, here we go.
You don't,
Wicked.
you don't think they
Pete-
put
Pete
people
took
in
the bait.
vacuum chambers?
Oh, well, let's have a look, Pete. Let's have a little look.
Do you put your hot pockets in the microwave or a vacuum
They
chamber?
did it once. Why would they just do it once?
Well,
Let's have a
because
look.
the guy
When has
almost
science
died,
ever-
and then they decided they shouldn't do that anymore.
That's bullshit. Science has
No,
never done
no, it
anything
is.
once.
Go find the proof,
They do
T-Mar.
things
Have you
multiple
seen the
times.
footage? The
P-Mar.
guy
I have a
was
picture of it,
hospitalized.
dumb shits.
Come on, have a look. Let's have a little
They
look.
did it once. After that, they had to
did it
hospitalize
once.
the guy. Yeah, they did it once. And
That
then they
makes
thought,
no
let's not
sense.
risk that again.
You're
I
silly.
don't even know how to last properly.
Yeah, funny, isn't it? Yeah.
Did you know,
You're
P-Mar, you
Space
probably
suits-
believe there's a
space
car in
suits
space,
are
too.
not designed to
What are you talking about?
withstand
You don't.
a vacuum.
Oh,
They're built to
say that sentence
withstand
again,
pressure
Howard.
from the
Say that
outside.
again, please.
Why would you think they wouldn't put a spacesuit in a vacuum?
I would say
chamber?
that
It's
sentence.
hilarious.
Not a spacesuit, a man in a spacesuit.
Right. I have pictures of them doing that.
Let's have a look. Let's have a little look.
In the vacuum.
You keep laughing, Pete.
Oh,
Just
in
let's have
2018.
a look. Put them up on screen. Let's have a look.
Come on, Pete. Let's see this evidence.
Yeah, please. 'Cause
I've got
I'm dying to see it.
Someone
What do you
with
think?
packing tape around their hand in a vacuum chamber.
What do you think it lasts longer? Pizza rolls or hot pockets in a vacuum chamber?
Oh, and did you actually say spacesuits are not designed to be in a
Yeah,
vacuum?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they're designed to be
exactly what I said.
underwater.
Wow.
They're designed to be
That,
underwater.
that's what they tell you it's designed
Plastic.
for.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
see them
Probably
actually.
with another
Well, when we
They're-
see them in demonstration,
they're probably
right, we either
more-
see them with Hollywood black backgrounds or we see them in water. So I'm pretty certain they can withstand water pressure because I've seen them do it.
Exactly.
And if they have to go to the bathroom, they got to go in their spacesuit.
Did you know that every
Luciferian.
they sent up a dog, they sent up a monkey, and they all died?
I don't think they sent anything anywhere.
I don't think
Well-
we said anything anywhere.
I think there's no reason for me to believe a god dang thing that I don't want to believe. You
Have a
know,
look.
Of course
they
Pia-
not,
put stuff
because you're a
forth.
special
Pia,
little communist snowflake promoting your communist agenda here on YouTube. Thanks.
Oh yeah.
Government
Yeah.
agent.
Mark.
Sorry, where's
Now
this?
a photo, Pete.
I know
Hold
you
on,
are.
let
What
P
am I?
present. You're up, P. P, you're up. Let's see you present this. What is it?
What, this is a photo of a human being wearing a spacesuit in a vacuum chamber.
It looks more like a compression chamber.
Yeah, well, you look like a fat pig. But here you are speaking English
So we're getting down to ad hoc.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's not. Do you have some actually rolling footage where you can
It does,
see
it's a
the
video.
vacuum actually working?
Right.
there?
So
I could play some rolling footage, but
Yeah,
it's,
yeah, do
it's
it.
of
Do it.
people having anal sex with animals.
No need. No need.
Play the
Let's just see
and let's see what
footage.
vacuum the gauge. I see two gauges at the top there. Let's see what gauge goes down to when they play the clip. So
Oh,
play the clip.
and your spacesuit comment has 7 likes already on Discord.
P Mars enters the room and it
Well
turns
done.
into this.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
You guys take care,
It's
man. I
not
can't
true.
be.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
is.
be
It
around
is.
this guy.
Hold on.
You're
Can you
all
press
being
play, P?
screwed over in your mind. You don't have any idea of how actual design of these things work. They just tell you, "Oh, look, this is designed to do that," and you trust.
And you
them.
do, Owen.
And you believe it, hook, line,
No,
and
I don't
sinker.
believe it. I don't believe it. I
You
realize that it's a lie.
I don't, but you understand it all.
Done. You realize that you don't see any curve, but you believe there's curves because somebody told you the math for the curve has been done.
Yeah, but I
you
see
tell
other evidence. I could
No,
go
you
on a
don't.
plane and see the curve, or I can see obstruction.
But you
Apparently Awake
realize
Souls is
that
gonna
you don't
join us.
actually
Please don't
see
boot
curve.
him.
You believe that
You
there's
realize
curve
I
because
see it
somebody
go
told you that the
night,
math.
every single night, don't you?
But somebody's told you the math has been done. We're just looking
Realize
for
you
curves,
have
but
no
we can't find
explanation
any
for
curves.
where the sun goes every night.
Dawn.
You realize
live in
that,
Nor-
don't you?
Dawn, you live in Norfolk, right?
Yeah.
If I switch a torch on up here in Wigan or Manchester or Liverpool, do you think you can see it from where you live?
No.
Right, why is that? Is that because I've gone behind the curvature, or is it that it's too far away and it's out of your proximity?
Hey, True Seeker.
I don't think that's a very good allegory for the sun, to be honest.
It's exactly the allegory that you're looking for.
It's not.
Why is it not?
Because it's the torch.
How big's your torch, Tony? How big's your
Massive.
torch?
6 inches.
My torch is massive, and that's 6 inches wide.
Ooh, it's like a soda can.
Yeah.
How about you just have the torch at the end of my garden and move it further away and see if it disappears bottom first?
Hey, Arev, is that you?
Into the grass.
Hold on. Is that you, Arev?
Is it Ek?
Might have been. Apparently,
Yeah,
Awake
well,
Souls is going to join us, so
It's
don't kick
probably
him
him
if he does.
because we're not getting kicked.
Who's joining us?
Awake Souls.
I think it's crazy. You know, people like Tim and people like Dawn. I mean, these guys are losing sleep over this. You know, and I don't know. It's just when you're shown.
I sleep like a baby, mate. I don't lose sleep.
No, I think they're just bored, and they're just stuck
yeah.
in their
Oh, yeah, I
position.
should let
They're
you
just
guys
stuck in
know.
their psychological position. You know.
I should let you guys know I'm only 98% sure we're on a spinning globe now.
Everyone, don't kick me.
Hey, you were 99 last week. You've lost
Yeah,
1%.
98 now. And it's just a position for the argument because I'm bored of arguing against it all the time. So sometimes I help Chemo and Debbie and help them with their arguments.
Boring, isn't it?
We gotta
When you
wonder. Argue
actually
for my
progress when you're stuck in a singular belief and you're not moving
An
anywhere.
helio model without understanding it is religion. I agree with you guys.
Yeah,
But-
but once
Moving
you
on.
understand it and then try to test
Just
it
like
out
flat
with
Earth.
You're not moving on. You're not bringing.
When you
any proof.
decide Earth's definitely flat and you don't fully understand it, that's a
No,
religion.
we don't decide it. We
You
do.
did.
We've
Dawn,
never
as-
seen
as
the
a
whole thing. We
glober-
don't know if it's flat. We just know the oceans aren't conforming to globe geometry.
Correct.
Oh, not you. Not you.
It's exactly the position we should all maintain. None of us should be suggesting models because we just do not know. We don't have $50 million a day, and we don't have time to do it because we have no scientists, right? So we should all say what it's not what we think it is.
That's why I've been there for
Hey,
months.
Harris, how you doing? Can you hear us?
All right, what's happening? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can. Good to have you.
Well done.
Hello.
But I kind of disagree. I think that it's
All right.
fine to theorize. I think it's fine to theorize as long as you don't then push that theory onto others and declare that it is the truth.
Right, but you declare it's the truth. Like
No.
you say, our spacesuits are not designed to go in a vacuum, and you
Yeah,
know
but
that
I'm
for
pretty sure of that.
Pretty sure.
Yeah,
So not
pretty sure.
100.
No, not 100. I'm not
Because
100.
Dawn, you don't think that if
Are
that
you
was
100%
true, we'd
sure
have
Owen,
examples of that all over the
into the
place?
ocean like a hologram? Are you 100 on that?
Sorry?
Are you 100% sure that the sun isn't physical and it doesn't go behind Earth and it just sinks into the ocean like a hologram?
Nope.
You're not
100% sure.
Not 100% sure.
Just
No,
perspective
but it's
again.
Sound like
Back
you
to
are
this.
when you argue
God,
it.
Why is it
Definitely
the
in the
globeheads
90s.
don't understand perspective?
I went to art college, Nathan. I understand perspective.
Oh, right. You went to art college. I did performing arts, another one of those dropout subjects.
Yeah, one of them.
So, hey, so Dawn. So if I let's pretend that we're just in a field, and let's say that you lay down in the middle of the field, and then I go on the other side of the field, and I throw a frisbee over your view. Are you going to see the frisbee leave my hand and hit the ground if you're laying down looking up?
It probably depends how far away you are, but if you're quite far on a big field, then no.
Correct. But you can kind of picture kind of like what the sun is doing. You're only seeing in your field of view. So it's setting to you. I mean, is that not a good example?
That's only assuming
that's not a good
that's
example.
But that is only that is based on the presupposition that it's actually a ball floating over the disc in a circle. You don't know that. You don't know that. It's just one way to approach it.
Well, if you don't suppose it's a spinning globe, you still have to come up with a reason where the sun went.
Yeah,
you don't.
convergence point.
No. I've got to correct that, Dawn. I've got to get my 2 pennyworth in. You don't have to come up with a just so story to smash the living daylights out of your presuppositional argument that we're on a spinning ball flying around the light in the sky. We can just smash the daylights out of it. We don't have to come up with a story.
Yeah, you do well at that, like picking the science apart, and people do find it very hard to prove to you that we're on a spinning globe.
That's because you can't.
That's because there is no
proof.
because we're
But you still can't explain where the sun went.
I'll just say it again, Dawn. I don't have to come up with a just so story to smash the living daylights out of yours.
Give us about 500 years, and I think we'll have a smashing
I'm going to say, Dawn, we've been on this for 3 years, and the most we've got is a P900. What do you expect us to be able to do?
Usually, if we got cooperation,
a logical reason where the sun went.
Figure it out in 5 years, easily.
Right, I agree. You're right, Dawn. There is going to be an explanation.
Will not light your house up from my house.
Right, but that's not an allegory to the sun going behind the horizon, is it?
Yeah, but it's not going behind the horizon. It's disappearing beyond the point that you can see it anymore.
If you had your car down the road from me, say 50 meters, and your headlights are on full, and then you drift backwards, would they drop into the road bottom first and disappear completely? No.
If it was 500
they'd get
miles
smaller.
away, if it was 500 miles away from me, what do you think? Do you think you'd see it then?
Yeah, I see light from 90.
He has a point there.
I didn't.
Point there. The sun moves at an angular rate, and it doesn't decrease as it approaches the horizon.
It disappears completely every night from the bottom.
Yeah, but that can be explained in many different ways.
Yeah, but none of them fit properly. None of them make sense.
It gets smaller than when it's around.
That doesn't make sense to you because you can't get your head out of the literature.
Because Flat Earth hasn't come up with a good explanation yet.
But we've come up with several, actually.
Not good ones.
Hang on, Dawn. Flat Earth is not expected to come up with everything. We're not expected to be scientists.
Yeah, but nighttime happens every night. Come on, you have to.
Who cares? Give us $50 million a day and give us a shitload of scientists, and I'm sure we could work it out. And if we couldn't, we could just lie to you and say it's true. You know, like
I guess that is a point. I guess that's.
Yeah, if we come up with a convincing enough just so story, Dawn will buy it. Is anybody willing that's not chatting away to drop, just so we can get Jason Awake Souls on? He's trying to join, but it's full, obviously.
Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Okay. I just have a quick question for the people that believe in the globe. I was always curious to know, why is it so hard to believe that Earth is flat? I mean, we don't feel like we're moving.
Because no one's ever showed them the edge of it.
There is no.
That's a presumption that there is an edge.
So an infinite flat shape that no one can even theorize.
You're automatically assuming there is some kind of edge based on the visual idea.
Yes.
Surrounding it.
Flat shapes have edges.
Yeah, only within a wider space.
But that's only even if you care about the edge.
Well, obviously,
I mean, I am not interested
prison.
in the edge.
You need to care about the edge, don't you? You're in a prison under a dome in a puddle, being lied to. Why wouldn't you want to care about the edge?
But it could be a dome. It could also be a looping confine.
No, it couldn't.
Yes, it could.
It can be
any. You don't know until you.
The point is, I'm not concerned about the edge.
If you go to one edge and come back on the other edge, I'll give you a hug
know.
and say I'm sorry.
Dawn, we don't know, but we are happy to admit that we don't know.
That is true. Dawn, they don't know, and everything else is wrong.
No, we just don't invent a just so story,
You know
Alan.
what, Dawn?
We're not saying everything else is wrong.
I would be more concerned with the edge if I was able to just go around the planet or the Earth the way that I wanted to. But since I'm not allowed to go into Antarctica and do whatever the hell I want,
have you ever tried?
I can't be. Have I ever tried? No. Personally, I have never tried. But there are plenty of people out there who have tried who have not been able to do that.
You've never tried to get through it.
There are people that have tried, and
I don't have the money to try to go to Antarctica, bro. I have a job. I have things to do.
Snails and worms go looking for the edge.
Now, birds actually can go wherever they like. And
If you put snails in a tank, they will go around the edge to check if they can get out.
Yeah, but snails don't do well in very cold environments, especially if they have to travel for hundreds of miles. So.
I'm just saying, with their small brains, they still want to get out. They still want to realize where the barrier is.
Yeah, that's territorial. It's territorial.
But none of you are doing it. You're just sitting, talking, and theorizing about it.
No, we're preoccupied by society.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how that works. We're being kept busy doing our things, doing our work, doing our education, doing our culture stuff.
Yeah, if I had the time and the money, I would try to go out to Antarctica and see what I could see.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I don't have the time and the money. I have a job. I have things to do.
Is that Jason? How you doing?
It's almost as higher societal structure with the Federal Reserve has created this system to keep us busy.
Yeah. Look at that.
Any excuse.
Is that Jason that just joined, by any chance?
But I was curious, don't you globe people, do you feel that the story sounds ridiculous?
Yeah, quite a bit, yeah.
I mean, just think
More
about
ridiculous than living on spinning balls, even though there's no sense or observation of motion or curvature? More crazy than that.
Well, if you say it like that, I kind of agree. Like, on a flat local area, it does seem flat and motionless. Unless you consider it like that, I kind of agree. Like, unless you consider the sky and deduce from there.
But Dawn, you seriously believe that we are performing all those movements at the same time?
No, I don't fully believe that. I think it's magic and mental.
And what do you think about all these recent stories that NASA comes up with, what they find out there, so-called mysterious giant space stations?
I don't believe all that.
Yeah, but that's actually official channel NASA stuff.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of a sign.
I'm on your
you know?
side.
Like, hey, we're making stories here. It's not actual science. It's
I don't want
fiction.
an authority to explain my whole outer paradigm to me either.
Yeah, but yet you do trust on them as a source to prove that the Earth is a globe with their pictures from space and their space station.
Not really.
I mean, you believe the guy that just supposedly put a car in space, and then the first thing he says about it is, "Oh, you could tell it's real because it looks so fake."
No, I don't fully believe him. I think he's a troll.
You think he's a troll?
Possible though. You can't. I mean, you can screw a car to a rocket. Why not?
Yeah. And I just want people to know that I personally don't have a problem with science. I just don't think we live on a spinning ball. I think the technology that comes out of science is fantastic. But
that's engineering.
Science is awesome.
But that's not science. That's engineering. That's
right. Well, there you go.
Sciences. It's a very different field. It's not a theoretical field.
I think it's part of it, but yeah. I understand.
You, Harris, if you believe in science and you trust it, where do you think the sun goes every night?
I have no clue.
No clue.
But I do know.
You trust science, and that science has an answer.
As far as the technology,
you don't even know what the sun really is.
Dawn, are you not comfortable?
Just like I don't know what the moon really is.
Are you not comfortable with saying I don't know?
I'm very comfortable with that. Yeah. Since flat Earth, more comfortable.
You don't seem to be comfortable with it. You seem to want to have an answer.
I come on to fight your ideas.
He only asks us questions that he knows we can't answer.
I think most pseudoscience, it seems like they have to have an answer for something without saying that they don't know. I think I never believed in my life that we lived on a spinning ball, and it never dawned on me how you can come up with 93 million miles as a distance for a sun. Right. I understand the trigonometry and stuff like that, but you need a starting point. And I'm like, how in the hell do you come up with 93 million miles when the moon doesn't look very much further? Or when the moon looks a lot closer.
The moon isn't further.
Yeah, but you have trigonometry for the heavens and you have trigonometry for the Earth. And trigonometry for the Earth is very real. But you have evidence, you have absolute certainties, and you can back check the sizes and the distances. Well, with the heavenly bodies, you only have the angular relations. That is the only thing that is solid, that you are certain of, that everybody can repeat every time. But you don't have a literal distance. You don't have a literal size. There is no certainty of this. Nobody has it.
Science does still say we don't know on some stuff.
Yeah,
I do think they're over arrogant about
Like, see,
what they claim to know.
my two biggest problems have always been water, and water being always level at rest.
What does science say? What does science say? Does it have lips and vocal cords? Why are you anthropomorphizing science? Science is the scientific method. For goodness sakes.
No, science is a person. It's a god. It's a spirit.
Well, what does science say? Who is that? Dawn Shredder? Why don't you?
No, it's the god with the white coat. Come on.
And let's see science
Come on, John.
saying.
It's the god with the white coat. You know,
We want to
the
see
newest member of the pantheon.
Arwen, hold off for a second. Calm down. Dawn Shredder, share your screen. We want to see science saying something. Go ahead. Have him share his screen. Let's see what they have.
What do you want me to do? Shall I play a Vsauce?
Science saying something. Go ahead. Have him share his screen.
I'll play Vsauce.
Let's see what they have.
Oh my God! Please,
Shall I play a Vsauce?
Science saying something.
He's giving his answer. He thinks. Hold on. Let's
see what they have.
Hold on. So he's saying science is Vsauce. Hold on.
Yeah, truth, reality. You're having a feedback loop. Turn down the YouTube.
Jason.
Go on, Nathan. Sorry.
I was just I thought it was you talking continually. It was actually feedback.
Yeah, that truth probably had his YouTube open. Didn't mute it. You need to mute it when you're in the hangout.
Yeah, let's get it back on track. So, to answer your question, John, he's saying that science says would be YouTube with a scientist saying something.
Yeah, Brian Cox, Vsauce.
Yeah, Brian Cox.
Obviously, I'm joking. Like, science is consensus of study, and it's not a person speaking.
So science doesn't say, right?
Yeah, science says.
Science says. So they got lips, vocal cords, sentience, and intelligence, right?
Not like
Go
science.
ahead. Go ahead. Let's see it. Share your screen. I want to see science saying something.
I've got Brian Cox, Wonders of the Universe.
So Brian Cox is science? I thought he's just a person.
He says what science says.
Oh,
he's a
repeats
TV
what
actor.
science says.
So
he's
he's
a
an actor, like Bill Nye the Science Guy.
So he's a parroter.
No, he's not an actor. No.
We want to see the source. We want to see
He's
science.
like Jesus. You have to go through him in order to get to the science.
Let's see the science saying something, please. You made the claim. Let's see it.
You just have to watch the signs.
It wasn't
Wait,
a claim.
science or signs? Which one is it?
I've seen a scientist say that the Earth is pear-shaped.
A science? Did you? Was he a scientist?
No, that was Neil deGrasse, and I think he smoked a little.
Yeah, that was
What
Neil
makes him a
deGrasse
scientist?
Tyson.
Really a scientist, I don't think.
He's not a
I don't know,
scientist.
that's
He's a
what they call
pseudoscientist.
him.
But he has such a nice voice. Come on, he must be a scientist.
Oh, he's
Astrophysicist.
great. He drops
Pseudoscience.
microphones and
Yeah.
Astrophysicist.
Awesome.
What makes a scientist a scientist?
I think nowadays it's just putting the word scientist in their title.
I know
think
in this day and age,
that
this day and
pretty much
age,
qualifies that.
It's authority and having followers in this day and age.
Authority through consensus.
Oh, so like Kim Kardashian's a scientist.
And real objective science has
If somebody with some type of authority said that Kim Kardashian is a scientist, yeah, people would start believing that. This is how gullible people are in the world today. It's really ridiculous.
She must be a globe earther.
Yeah, I see lots of gullible people on both
good
sides.
goyim. They're very good goyim.
Goyim. That's a word.
Yeah, Jason, you're not on mute in the Hangout at the moment, so there's obviously an audio problem at your end. Maybe click the cog at the top of the Hangout, and then select the correct microphone. So move your mouse over your Hangout if you're on a computer, at the cog, go to the microphone settings and select the correct one.
Yeah, make sure that if you have the YouTube window open at the same time, that one is muted. Otherwise, we're going to have a feedback loop.
I will have to mention or admit, though, I think since this movement, I would say that the people with that agree with that geocentric model seem to be doing more research than the globe people. I think globe people are believers, and they're just happy with the numbers that are given to them, and they just roll with that. Well, I see way more flat earthers doing more experiments and things these days.
The problem is most globers don't even know their own model. Like random globers that you'll meet on the street, random people. I don't even want to call them globers, just regular people who believe
To be
the regular
fair,
system.
be
They
fair,
don't know their model. They like unless they were really inclined into science when they were in school, they don't believe it, or they don't really understand it. And then when you tell them that as a flat earther, they think you're full of shit.
yeah, but to be fair, Chocolate, not all Christians know every detail about the Bible, now do they?
No,
exactly. But they believe, and they trust even in
Faith
that
and
which
trust,
they do not
Yeah,
know.
but even they're grown to know that that's faith. But as far as the globe, that's not supposed to be faith. That's supposed to be fact.
Yeah, it's
We are
sad when there's
taught
more
that.
truth.
You're
Yeah, we are
equivocating
taught
with the
that
word
in school
faith.
as fact. We're not taught that this is faith. We're taught that we are living on a spinning ball. That's not something you believe in. That's a fact. That's
No,
why we're
that's what
told
they
by the
believe in.
globers.
No, but that's
No,
the
exactly. But that's
true
what they're
religion.
told. They tell us that that's a fact.
No, but that is the true religion aspect about it. A real, true religion is not a belief. It is a set of scriptures and dictates that are set to be the absolute reality.
That's not religion.
That is what a real religion is.
No,
A real
religion. No,
is
it's
a
not a religion.
scripture that is being portrayed as
That's
the
not a
absolute-
religion.
Yes.
That's not a religion. Belief without evidence is religion. The object of it
Yeah, but
is
that's a
irrelevant.
technical definition. But a
Belief
true,
without evidence.
but there's a difference now in how
Religion has nothing to
religion
do
is
with
approached right now and how it used to be. Because in the medieval times, Christianity was being applied as absolute truth, and there's still religious fundamentalists.
Sorry,
that
hold on,
still
Owen.
see
I'm
it.
really sorry to interrupt you. Is there anybody who's willing to drop so we can have Charles join? He's trying to join, but we've got 10 members. So anybody who's willing to drop? So
Yeah, I can.
Okay, thank you, Dawn.
Thanks.
Pleasure. Thanks for being here, Dawn.
But yeah, my point about true religion is that in a regular religion, it's just a belief, and it's not really portrayed as absolute, undeniable fact and all that. And it's still left open as just like, oh yeah, you believe this. This is what you're going to pursue. This is what you're going to focus on. But originally, like with the theocracy system, the religion that was used was forced, even legally forced upon people as the absolute truth. And religious fundamentalists still do this. That is the difference. So in a sense, the globe science is in a way a fundamentalist religion because it is portrayed as being the absolute truth.
Yeah, it's belief without evidence.
As
That's
is
why it's a religion.
evolution being portrayed as the absolute
That's
truth.
a fairy tale. Religion is belief without evidence. Period.
Hey,
End of
Charles,
story.
good to have you.
Religion has nothing to
Just
do
like
with
the globe
evidence.
model, yeah.
All right, guys.
It's like
Claims like that can't go unnoticed. The whole religion is a fairy tale, that kind of stuff. But what I really wanted to come on and just talk about here quickly and get your thoughts on this. I like the idea of debate. I like that Nathan has this channel, but I can't frequent it because the shills and trolls use it as a platform in order to disseminate their information. So I want debate, but here's my issue with it. I really feel like the only way to have credibility right now, because we all do know that there are tons of shills and trolls, is that the people that want to get serious about the conversation have to go on camera and they have to use their identities. So people like Arwen, people like Nathan, they do gain credibility by using, their image on screen. And to all those out there that want to argue, I really feel like the conversation should be muted for people that aren't willing to stand up and show their identity. How does everybody else feel about this topic?
I think you're right to a certain degree, But we've already talked about this, and it's just if you dare to appear with your real person, with your real image moving on camera, that gives you an extra weight. So in that sense, people like, for example, P. Mars has an extra step because he actually dares to show his face. But if you don't, yeah, you can't really force people that are, for example, shy to do that. But just if you do it, it gives you more credibility. It makes it gives more certainty that you're at least not a troll. So, but that is kind of we did talk about that.
You still can you can definitely still be a shill or a troll on camera. There's nothing that excludes them from doing that, but it happens a whole lot less. And at least the person is not so much of a coward to have to hide, behind, this hidden anonymity thing. So there's a challenge out to Negator X. We're having a conversation in the chat, and so I want these types of debates in a fair playing field where everybody gets their opportunity. Nobody's going to stand over. No ad hominem attacks. Just evidence for evidence, point for point, but on camera, like real men. And still, there's a possibility that even on camera, a person can be a shill. So it's up to the audience to look at the case presented and make a decision for themselves. So neither debater, it really doesn't matter what position they're putting forth, because it's really a presentation for the audience, and then decisions are concluded from that. So I am up for that. That's what I want. And
I was going to respond to you. I agree. Like, well, the computer I'm on right now doesn't have a camera, but that's actually me. My phone number is right there at the bottom, if you can see that, if you want to call me. I do notice when I see other people, like whether it's Red or whoever, and they sit there and they talk a lot of crap, and I'm like, and I'm saying to myself, if they were on camera, maybe they wouldn't it be as harsh? So I agree with you. Well, at least having an actual image of yourself or a live camera. I agree with you, especially when it comes to debates.
I don't think it has anything to do with anything.
No, but I think that people that
the whole idea of keeping yourself anonymous in the year 2018 is
it doesn't matter.
It's ridiculous to think that you could keep yourself totally anonymous to society right now. So people that are for the truth shouldn't have any fear about sharing this. Like I'm selling my house right now, and I'm using YouTube because I have a subscriber base, so I want to reach as many people as I want. Of course, people know where I live. I'm not concerned about that. If I'm not concerned about somebody walking up, shooting me, the whole black COINTEL helicopters flying over my head.
Neither am I.
It's not a concern of mine whatsoever. It's ridiculous. It's a fear porn type thing.
Well, me neither. Anyway, I'm sorry to put an end to this conversation. I'm really sorry about anonymity. It is a good conversation, but we've only got about 15 minutes left, and we've got Charles on. So Charles is obviously on the other side of the fence and believes the Earth is a sphere. How you doing, Charles? Good to have you.
I'm doing quite well. Let me know if my microphone's like too hot.
Perfect. You're absolutely perfect.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, and thank you so much for hosting and for allowing me on the panel. I appreciate your generosity and your kind manners. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Welcome.
So yeah, there seems to be a big tempest about my latest video, which was on how to measure the observer height above the water. And I just want to make clear, Nathan, that I'm not supposing that the Earth has any radius. In fact, I fully acknowledge that the Earth appears to be flat and the horizon appears to be essentially at eye level, and that's really what I was going with. Those calculators, those are for people who believe the Earth is a globe, which you may be talking to one right now, but that had nothing to do with my video. So
yeah, it had everything to do with your video.
How so?
Well, you said the maths starts with the eye height.
No, I said an important part of an important tool in the debate.
No, you said the
I might
maths
not have used
starts with
those
the
words
eye height.
exactly, but that's what I meant.
Oh, that's a shame, because the maths doesn't start with the eye height. The maths starts with the presupposition that you're on a sphere.
No,
yeah, it does.
No, it actually
yeah,
doesn't.
It does.
So
yeah,
the
it
Earth
does.
could be
It
flat,
does start with a presupposition. Right? You have this R value. That's why I challenged you to prove R, that value in the calculation. So do you have that proof?
But that wasn't the point of the video.
I don't care what your proof was. The calculations that you used had a presupposition attached to them. That presupposition was a radius, Charles. That's why my challenge was to prove the presuppositional part of your mathematics that you said started with.
But it's not my mathematics.
Pardon?
The mathematics I showed on the screen, most of those math assumed that the Earth was flat.
That's no. I saw a calculator that assumed a radius.
Yeah, but all I was acknowledging was that if you use that calculator, viewer height is important. You don't have to use the calculator.
Right, you said it started with the viewer height.
I'm a little confused by Nathan.
No, I'm not confused by anything. You said it starts with the viewer height, and I corrected you and pointed out that it starts with a presupposition that you're on a sphere.
No, Nathan.
Yes, it does. It starts with an assumed radius. The value R, the value I've challenged you to come here and prove. So do you have proof of this radius, Charles?
Well, I think you're missing. I think you're missing the point.
I don't think I am missing the point. You're trying to focus on things further down the calculation, claiming that it starts with the eye height of the observer. And I'm saying no. Those calculations start with the presupposition that you have a radius. That is what I'm asking you to prove.
So the thing is, if you use that calculator regularly, and I watch the flat Earth debates a lot, and you either cite the calculator or you put it on screen, or you talk about the results from those calculators, either the Metabuck one or the GitHub one. And so I'm constantly watching you using these calculators. I don't think I've seen a single episode where you haven't used those calculators. That's all I was saying, is that if you're using those calculators, it's kind of important to know an accurate eye height.
And I'm saying that if you use those calculators, you presuppose that you are on a sphere, and it has a value attached to it, Charles. That value would be a
why do you use those
radius.
Calculators, Nathan?
Why do I use them? Because apparently the whole body of science backs this R value, the one I've asked you to prove.
Yeah, that's a matter of social proof. Forget the body of science. I'm willing to throw the body of science out the window. I'm literally
really.
I'm willing to
really.
Start with a
well,
blank
science,
slate.
Charles, is a study of the natural world. Now, you might be willing to throw all that out the window, but me, I'm very interested in what science has to say on this subject.
Okay, so you use a calculator, which is based on a value of R. So you're choosing to use that calculator. It wasn't me telling you to use it. You're choosing to use it.
So what calculator did you use then?
You used it.
You
used it, Charles.
I make all my own.
You
formulas.
used it and then claimed that it was very important to get the correct eye height when using these calculators. You failed to point out that they presuppose a value that you have no evidence of.
Yeah, but I'm not making a claim whether that calculator is valid.
Oh, really? So, Charles, the natural world that we observe, the one we live on, is it a sphere?
Well, I collect evidence and I draw my own conclusion.
Is that a yes or a no? The natural world that we live on, Charles, is the natural world that we live on a sphere? Yes or no?
Get people to get outside and to measure things, and one of those measurements you could do is an accurate eye height.
Right, and then we can plug it into a calculator that presupposes we're on a sphere, correct?
You can use whatever calculator you want.
Right? Why are we using any calculator?
You want? You can
what calculator you use in your video? That's what I'm taking issue with, Charles. You use a calculator claiming that we're on a sphere to begin with, as proof we're on a sphere, and then tell us how important it is to measure the eye height. And I'm saying that's very disingenuous if you have no proof of the R value in your calculator.
Where did I use it?
He just said he doesn't use the R value in his calculations.
Oh, did he say he doesn't use the R value?
In my video where I used the R height, with the exception of when I talked about the globe Earth believers, then that's the only time I used the eye height.
And are you one of those globe Earth believers, Charles?
Calculations in my video, Nathan,
would that be your position, Charles? Would that be your position?
All the calculations in my video assumed the Earth was flat.
Sorry, Charles, I'm not interested in how you misrepresent our argument. Your side of the argument, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the natural world is spherical, correct?
No, that's not my argument at all. That is 100% not my argument.
So you don't believe the Earth is a sphere?
I have 4.5 hours of original content and not 1 minute.
I'm not asking you if you have content. Try and listen to my question. Do you believe the natural world is a sphere? Yes or no?
But the thing is, that's like asking somebody if they believe if Jesus Christ is risen.
No, we have the whole body of science that asserts we have a value of R. That value of R is in reference to a sphere. Now I'm asking you if you, Charles, specifically believe the natural world we observe is a sphere, yes or no?
So, but Nathan, why are you?
What does belief have to do with it?
Why are you dodging this question?
Why is it so hard to get an answer? Why does a person? Yeah, he just won't anscer the question.
The reason
Nathan
why I'm
just
not answering, and you guys
pressing.
don't know this, is because you absolutely know what I consider the Earth to be, right? So the fact that you're asking me that question, it's a rhetorical question.
No, it's not.
Why won't you
I'm not
say
going to
it?
answer a
No,
rhetorical
there's
question.
187 people watching, Charles, who may not have... Let's not get delusions of grandeur here, Charles. Not everybody knows who you are. There's 187 people watching.
But even if he believes in the ball, what does it matter?
It matters because his calculations he refers to are when presupposed on a sphere, and they have a value for it. The radius, coincidentally, the value that is presupposed, the value I take issue with, the value he has no proof of.
Presupposing is not the same thing.
Nathan, can I just say that I want to catch up with Flat Earth Math before the end of the show? So give me enough time to ask him one question.
I'll yield now because you've got about 6 minutes.
That's not my opinion.
Go ahead.
I've got to run. Nathan, I've got to run, but I want to thank you for having a debate like this. It's fantastic, and I just want to use this opportunity to let anybody know that if they want to debate the contrary of these 4 points, 1, that Earth is flat. So if you want to debate the contrary of that, 2, that the AE map and model does not work. If you want to debate the contrary of that, 3, if I say we're in a simulation. If you want to debate the contrary of that, or 4, that the creator of this world is the God of the Bible. So if you want to debate beyond that. So I've got those 4 main things that I'm always ready to debate anybody on that wants to debate the contrary side of it. But thank you, guys.
That's going to be very hard. I agree with all of those points. So.
Thanks, Jason. Pleasure having
I'm
you.
not sure about the simulation, but everything. But whatever.
And I actually believe with you on 2.5 of those. So well stated.
Well, that's good. That's good, guys.
Thanks, Jason. Anthony, did you want to level your question at Charles before we run out of time?
Go ahead, Anthony. I wanted to ask one question before everybody left, but go ahead.
Flat Earth Math, why are you telling your subs that you think that I'm actually 6 to 8 feet above the water in my most recent video where I showed that the camera was mounted to the beach, on the sand on the beach, and there's no way on Cat's Earth that this could possibly be 6 to 8 feet above the water? Why would you lie like that?
So you'll have trouble finding anywhere where I lied. I clearly identified your camera as being sitting on the sand. I said it on screen. I said it in the narration. It was multiple times. I said your camera was on the sand. So I did not misrepresent any of that.
So how do you get
all I'm using Sleeping Warrior, all I'm using is the visual evidence. And that was really the whole point of the whole first half of the first 2/3 of the video.
I'm guessing, is that right?
No. Well, I'm estimating it's 9 feet. I can tell you I can tell you for a fact it's not 1 foot.
Arwin, could you do me a favor?
I've been there. I can tell you for a fact it's less than a foot. It's inches, the relief on that bit of beach. There's none there. It's flat as a pancake. It goes out unbelievably quickly because there's so little relief. So as the tide drops, bang, it's gone. At the high bit where there is relief, it takes an eternity to go up and down. On that low bit where there's sand, it just disappears. And it is flat as anything. So telling me that it's not flat, it's just complete and utter nonsense. So I'm not having that. Not 1 second.
I've publicly laughed at you about it. Flat Earth Math. Arwin, could you do me a favor? Could you add that sound effect that we were talking about before for the benefit of Flat Earth Math? He thinks I'm at 9 feet above water.
No way.
Arwin, could you do it for me? Is he here? Oh, he sniped him, hasn't he?
Oh,
Oh no!
Before the show's over.
Could you do that? Could you do that sound effect for the benefit?
Me,
of
yo, don't kick me, Nathan.
I'm not kicking anybody.
Flat Earth Math thinks I'm 9 feet above the water. Arwin, could you say that? Could you do that sound effect for me?
9 feet above? What? Oh, bullshit, you mean?
Yeah, do it proper.
Bullshit.
Thank you very much, Arwin. Fire math, I am less than 1 foot above the actual water. Stop lying about me and apply the evidence that you can see. I am on the sand. Stop being a retard.
Before it's over, before this is over, listen, I listened to a debate with Wonton and Rumpus the other day, and they pinned Wonton to the ground with one question. Tell me something that science is dogmatic about. Wonton could not answer it, and that is a good question. What is one thing that science is dogmatic about?
Refraction.
The truth.
Space.
At least the original
Gravity.
concept of science. The scientific community is
Gravity.
dogmatic about a lot of things.
Axial rotation.
Okay, well, if you listen to that debate, they pinned him on that, man, because he answered with 9/11. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Pancake theory.
Right.
Arwin needs a sound effect here at this point.
So the point of my video was to determine viewer height, Sleeping Warrior, and I go through the whole geometry. If the horizon's at eye level or 1/100th of a degree, below eye level, essentially eye level, then anything that intersects the horizon in your visual field, you can actually use that to measure the viewer height. And I haven't heard anybody refute any of that. All the talk has been about R.
Yeah, because it is a presupposition. Do you understand what a presupposition is?
Well, no, but I mean, we're just talking about viewer height above the water. Okay, the Earth is flat. Okay, the Earth is flat. The horizon's at eye level. So I'm estimating that your height to be 9 feet above the water.
Well, we've debunked
right.
And so no one said anything about... Do you see him creating a straw man and saying the Earth is flat, therefore the horizon is at eye level? And we don't claim that. We've spent quite a considerable amount of time, Charles, debunking that assertion by proving that we have an apparent horizon. So what the hell are you talking about? Why are you creating this straw man that we have this argument that it's at eye level when we don't claim that here?
Well, under different weather conditions, the horizon can be blurry. It could have a mirage. You can, be kind of fuzzy.
Do you want me to repeat my question? Why are you making this assertion that if the horizon is at eye level, something we categorically do not state here, having debunked it and proved that it's an apparent horizon, would you use that as your measuring tool?
Well, most of the time you can see the horizon. There, sometimes it's blurry.
Do you need me to say it a third time? I don't need to know what we can see. It's in a photograph. Why would you use an apparent horizon as a measuring tool, Charles?
So, like I said, under clear conditions, the horizon you can
Sorry,
actually...
clear conditions.
Like
apparently, we've got slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena conditions, you stupid man. What are you talking about standard conditions now? We've got a rumpus on the panel telling us that we've got refraction that is beyond belief, curving it in unbelievable ways, and now you're telling me what standard conditions do. I'm telling you, Charles, we have debunked the assertion that we have a horizon that is in a fixed position and useful for measurements. My question is, why would you use such a spurious thing to make measurements from?
So if you're looking at the, Skunk Bay footage where it's like just a massive distortion the whole day, okay, that's one thing. But if you're looking at, for example, the video that's on the screen right now has a pretty clear horizon. I mean, it's a little fuzzy, but most of the time, or I should say a lot of the time, the horizon looks like a ruler with no distortion. And if there's no distortion present, then I think you can kind of use it as a measuring tool.
Oh, right. You think you can kind of use it as a measuring tool? That sounds very accurate, Mr. Maths. Unbelievable garbage. And with that, I'm going to say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully for sharing this debate. And also a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you've not done so already, be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!